It's incredibly white for you to be calling that genocide, okay? It's incredibly fucking white.
I love this dude. Where did y'all find this nigga?
Just because you're in a halfway house, okay, you haven't been to the most racist town in America.
I think prison is like 10 times that.
Yeah, you know what? You might have an argument there.
I think you're a cop. Was you a cop or you a cop?
I'm an ex-cop, yes.
Okay then! Okay then!
If you see somebody who looks like me and they're trying to buy drugs from you, do not sell them drugs.
That's what I was saying the whole time! Libertarians just say, they speak up when they see somebody on YouTube get pulled over. Nah, libertarians is in disguise.
Damn!
I'm not a god.
It's a disguise!
You're the one who won't show your face.
To pivot completely, Zonia, are you going to do Will's panel?
Will's panel? What panel is this?
I've actually brought a friend of mine to it because she really wanted to go on because one of the people in the replies said any trans person who goes on this panel is a traitor.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, that one kind of blew up with some friends of mine. One of my friends is like, I want on the panel now. So
Nice.
so she's gonna be going on. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna be going on, but if it's just gonna be like a whole bunch of people agreeing or something, I don't know. It's gonna be
What's the
it's
panel
all
about?
kumbaya. It's about whether or not Stardust is a transphobe, and we're gonna find that out in just a few minutes here because I'm gonna ask Stardust one of the most difficult questions ever been asked of her. Stardust, do you believe that there is a trans genocide going on?
I think that there is a lot of oppression happening to trans people. A
She's a transphobe, guys. She hates trans people. She's gonna murder us all.
Jesus. I mean, we knew that the whole
Canceled.
time.
Look, I feel like genocide is a very strong word. I can say that, trans people are being, oppressed 100% and discriminated against 100%. But a genocide, I think, has more serious implications. Right?
You might be good for this panel.
Well, like, what does
You-
it
you might wanna
take
get
to
on that
be
panel.
a genocide, Stardust? Like, what would have to be happening for you to be like, yep, that's a genocide?
I mean, I think if you're preventing people from if you're preventing a group from, like, I don't know. I guess if you're
This
killing
is so
people,
mean.
obviously.
I'm sorry, Stardust. I'm sorry.
Or if you're preventing a group from, like, reproducing,
Okay.
Uh,
I mean, it sounds like. I mean,
This is
sounds like-
the problem with this topic because
Yeah.
so the reason that Will asked for this panel is I ended up on Chuds talking about this topic because I've been annoyed by it in that I don't think it's very productive.
Yeah,
And it seems
isn't.
like there's two sides to it. There's the side that I think there are three sides to it. There's the really analytical side, who just being like, well, this is a definition. There's the more advocate or activist side, which is like, well, the definition doesn't matter because we're telling you there's a problem, and the language we're using is flagging language. Essentially, we're using this language to know whether you're on side with us, that if this was occurring, we could trust you to be able to come and help us, which is actually like a very reasonable position, even though it can sound hyperbolic. And then there's the other side, which I'd say is the more kind of President Sunday side, unfortunately, which is we're going to use this to have arguments and debates with people and get dunks, which I think is the worst side, frankly. I think it's fucking ridiculous. So I was discussing that on Chuds. Lonerbox came on, and we were chatting about it, and then Will came on, and said, like, I think we're in a preliminary genocide. I got him to define it, and then said, essentially, well, that definition's so loose you could use it to say that people, like anti-vaxxers in the US, were being preliminarily genocided, which is not a good fucking definition.
Yeah.
and the issue is that when people think of genocide, I feel like naturally they think of like basically massive like state acquiesced or state enforced killing of certain groups. And like whether someone would admit that or not, I think it tends to be the case that, especially like an average person on the street, if you ask them like give an example of a genocide, they'd be like, oh, like the Holocaust, or like what happened in Rwanda, or other things like that, right? Where there's just a bunch of people who get killed because of certain characteristics they're born with, right? Or that they find themselves in by predicament. And so if we're working off of that kind of general thought, then most people are not going to consider what is happening to trans people to be like a genocide, right?
So the
not in Western countries. I mean, obviously there are some countries where
I got brought in on trans genocide. Holy shit! All right, let's
go. So let me just like throw back on this.
We can move back to cash bail whenever you want.
But just a quick like other side, because I've tried to be really like I've been very middle of the ground because I understand both sides. But every time anybody goes,
this guy,
yeah, like I usually don't
not a real ally
this fucking hard, but like every time somebody brings me an example where we ask the question of like what would need to happen for somebody to go, well, that's a genocide. There is an example in the US where you can go, okay, well that meets that example, and that's quite problematic. And when we're talking about it from the perspective of kind of the trans community or anything to do with the LGBT, because it's a bit looser. Like you can't really meet the same classifications of kind of cultural oppression, for example, because you can have a gay couple or a trans couple and their kids can be straight, or you can have a straight couple, and there's not that cultural through line. So the word itself doesn't like meet very well the definitions, which I think is again part of the problem. So like every time I've had this conversation, I would start on the really reasonable side of being like, well, I'm not sure, and then by the end I'm like, I see so many evidence points where you can point to it and go, yeah, that's a genocide. Because I also do fall on the side that it is pointless to have a word like genocide and just use it in a historical context, because surely the ideal is to have a word that we can go, well, that's genocide, so we can point to something and stop it happening, if that makes sense.
I don't know.
I still don't know that I would call it a genocide, though.
Well, politically speaking, I just think this is such like a high risk, low reward thing, right? Like if your big thing is, I want to do the best I can to advocate for trans rights and trans issues. Like, okay, I mean, that's perfectly reasonable. I'm in the same camp. I'm in favor of trans rights, and I'm, certainly I don't think I've taken essentially any position that could be considered transphobic at this point in my life. But if you're insistent on using like a word like genocide, like Texas is committing a genocide against trans people because they're investigating the parents of trans youth or something like that. It's like, okay, but how does that get you to like that not being the case? Calling it a genocide. I don't see how it helps or how it's productive. I mean, sometimes people go overboard with like being sensitive to call people out. Like some people almost, it's like don't even want to call someone racist or something like that. I remember one time I saw a panel where it was a guy who was literally a Jewish question like conspiracy theorist, and one of the people on the panel said, and I don't want to say that you're anti-Semitic, and it's like, okay, stop. We can say some people are anti-Semitic. Like, that's okay. Some people are racist. Some people are anti-Semitic. Genocides are happening in the world today. Like, those things can all exist, but when we try to, like, cross-apply so many of these words in contexts where a lot of, like, everyday people, it's just not going to make sense to them when you go up to, like, the mom working as a cashier at a grocery store and say, there's a genocide happening against trans people. She's just going to look at you like, I don't understand what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
And it just kind of like, it makes the conversation about trans rights, it adds an unnecessary step into that conversation, because you can explain how it's terrible what states like Texas are doing to trans people without saying it's a genocide.
It waters down the utility of the word. Right, like the word, like if you start taking each like UN definition, like each like position, like sorry, I didn't prepare, so I don't have the definition offhand on me. I'm just impromptu, right? But if you take like each bullet point or the principal elements of genocide, and then you attempt to apply them in such a way, like it's exactly like Beckett said, like there's so many things that you would consider genocide, right? You would have to say that the FDA and Dr. Fauci's treatment of the LGBT community during the AIDS epidemic was assuredly a genocide, right? And it's like, well, how do you compare that to like Darfur, right? Like at a certain point, there becomes a disconnect between the colloquial and expression and the idea of the word and what it means to people, like ethnic cleansing, right? And this strict legal definition where you're trying to use a very niche kind of thing, and then when you use that word, it loses its utility. It becomes like any now when a million people are starved to death, or when, like, you know, for the very sake of their religion or for some form of identity, like the word genocide is watered down to a point where it's a meaningless term.
Yeah. I just don't, I
so.
think we can say that, you know, a group within the US is being oppressed. We can say that a group within the US is having just, you know, discrimination is being endorsed against them. Do we have to call it a genocide though? I don't really think that it's useful for us to call it a genocide. And I'm not even, like, you can look at, there are plenty of, you know, I know Beckett makes the argument like, oh, well, we shouldn't just use it in a historical context. Well, I'm not talking about only using it in a historical context. There are plenty of like things going on in the world that you could point at and say that's a genocide, and they're not necessarily like a state endorsed thing, right? It's just people killing people, or people you know, causing incredible injury to certain groups of people based on the group that they identify with.
Stardust, you're no longer an ally. I'm taking your ally card back from you, revoking your ally status.
Fuck.
You're now officially canceled. I'll be informing Demon Mama.
That's why she brought me
people.
on here. That's why she brought me on here, because I'm enemy number one to the fucking trans rights activists.
My God.
I'll be
That's the real
notifying
reason
Demon
I was
Mama and
brought on.
Poly people about your former ally status.
Yeah, I've
Why is
never actually
calling
spoken
it-
to
why is
Fabian
it-
Liberty. I've only ever had experience of hearing other people's opinions on you, if I'm completely honest. But
Yeah. Well, you know, when you crush every lefty that you go up against, you know, and you crush the righties too, you get, you know, kind of cloistered, and people are just so afraid, you know.
It's true.
I thought that
So-
joke would land better.
No,
no,
gotta let it
it's fine.
be silent.
It's fine. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
It's funnier if we just don't respond to it.
Right? I was like, Jesus. All right, whatever.
I mean, there's
I
like,
feel like that's how people feel about me. They're like, it's better if we just don't respond. Pretend the largest libertarian in Twitch politics doesn't exist.
I don't think so. I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna take a very hard stance on this. Actually, I
Oh,
don't
shit.
think it's right for us to be using the word genocide when the words oppression, like systemic oppression, would work perfectly fine in this scenario. I don't think it's right for us to use the word genocide when you can look at tons of examples currently going on in the world and call those genocide. You know, you can look at the you know, killings of different people based on their identification in different parts of the world and call that a genocide. You can see it even happening like in India, like there are specific groups that will, you know, get lynched because of their identity and because of false accusations against them. So I just don't think it's fair to or right to be using the word genocide. So I think systemic oppression is perfectly fine, and it encompasses the direness of the situation perfectly fine.
So let me set aside the fact that I'm against critical theory, and I have a lot of takes that TRAs hate, and, you know, all of that, right? Because, you know, done a lot of detrans interviews and, you know, panels against kind of trans rights activism. Set that aside. I think one of the things that is an issue with this term is similar to like the term fascism. And I'll explain. You know, if I say America is a fascist country, right? I can look at 1913, right? We can look at the Federal Reserve System. We can look at the way corporation and the state kind of like work in congruence together. I can look at a lot of things, right? And then someone will go, yeah, but like there's no Ein Volk. There's no blood and soil in America, right? Like there's elements missing of fascism that are not present. And therefore what you're saying is absurd. and you're just like you're engaging in hyperbole. And I think what we do is we say, well, this is fascistic, right? This has elements of fascism. And so there's a term that says this is fascistic, which is to say it has some elements, it's similar, it leads down a similar path, but it's not a one-to-one comparison. And I think the issue with the term genocide is that there is no colloquial expression for something that has elements of genocide but doesn't necessarily have the same kind of thought or all of the elements, right? And so I think that might be part of the issue with the term genocide, is that like there's like a certain category, like you wouldn't say there's no term genocidistic, right? Like there's no term that like says, well, the elements are there, but that's not what's happening.
So the simple answer to this whole thing is that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it can be defined as a genocide or not. It doesn't matter if people disagree on whether or not it can be defined as a genocide. So the problem is that there's a little tribe in this space, and they use it as a litmus test. And they say, do you agree that it's a genocide? And if you don't, then they're like, okay, you hate trans people, you're not an ally, you're a transphobe, right? Which is dumb, because it doesn't achieve anything. And the people championing this kind of mentality, none of them are authorities that can establish in any kind of, human rights organization or the UN or any coalition of nations or at a national level that something is a genocide. And the term is used. It's used to describe things that are affecting people based on, where nations can call out another nation for genociding its people, right?
How can you?
And so human rights orgs, would they work to press, national nations and nation coalitions like the UN to recognize things as genocides? So like an example of that would be numerous human rights orgs pressing the UN for years to recognize that the Armenian genocide was a genocide, right? So that's an example of that kind of action. But what you have here is you have a whole bunch of just talking head lay people pretending as though they have some kind of authority in what is and isn't a genocide, and then holding people to it when it doesn't actually matter. What you could do instead, something far more productive than trying to split hairs over this word that you have literally zero authority in the dictation of, is say, oh, well, there are these anti-trans bills and this wave of anti-trans sentiment going on in Texas right now. What you need to do is reach out to these representatives, call them, email them. If you're local to them, show up, and actually talk to them in person and say, I want you to vote no on this bill, etc. That's what you do. But they don't do that. Instead, they just want you to agree that it's a genocide, and if not, then you're a bigot. And that achieves literally nothing. It's also incorrect, because a lot of the people who are being labeled a bigot, like for instance Sansol, are actually very pro-trans and have actually gone out of their way to cover a lot of trans issues and try and encourage people to pay attention to trans issues and to be supportive of trans people. And yet this is being weaponized against him by Ellen DeGenerate and by Sansol and by Demon Mama and others, to label him and smear him as a transphobe. And he even got deplatformed from Twitch Politics for it. And that's all it is for them, is a game. It literally doesn't mean anything other than just tribalism as gamified. Because they're not going and saying, hey, Sansol, so what do you think of these individual issues? Do you have an issue with them? Well, what would you tell your viewers to do? Would you tell them maybe to go and take some action to mitigate this or to address this issue? And then Sansol can answer. They could say, well, what do you think of all these different things, and get him to answer that. And then you determine, oh, well, looks like Sansol actually isn't that evil of a person. He actually is pro-trans. He wants to address these trans issues. And he actually does try to get his audience to go and pay attention to them and do things to rectify them.
I just think
I think you're completely wrong. I think you're being the nice liberal, and you're assuming like good faith from a consequentialist perspective. That like that the goal of these individuals is to affect positive change for positive.
Oh no, it
outcomes for
isn't.
their
It
community.
isn't. I agree. I said that
But
actually.
it does achieve something. What it achieves is it's an ideological purity test.
Yes,
because
which
they
I've been
understand.
saying. Yeah.
Right, but they understand that philosophy promulgates policy. They understand that if you can browbeat people via gatekeeping to either capitulate or to be labeled an enemy and be otherized and thus change their positions through that shame, that they will grow. And it's an ideological philosophical war. It's not a war about policy. It's not a war about like what charity gets more
It's about
donations.
Does everybody believe the same thing?
I just think it's also incredibly
that forces you into that position. No, it's fine.
I also think that it's also just like an incredibly privileged position to be able to
Very privileged.
to sit here and to call something like this that's in the US a genocide when you have things happening all over the world currently that are actual genocides. It is incredibly privileged and it's incredibly insulting, honestly. So
yeah, well, some of the whitest and most Western people we've got in the space who are championing this shit and going after people for not agreeing.
It's ridiculous. There are people
people.
There are people getting lynched for the accusation of eating beef in India. You can get fucking lynched. Seriously.
For the record, I would like everyone to know that, I apologize for any anti-whiteness that is going to be promulgated in this panel. I love white people. I don't have anything against white people. I just want to make that statement in case
I love white
cancel
people
mob
too.
comes after me.
Look, to the white crowds, please do not cancel me. You know that I'm not an enemy of your whiteness. Okay, I'm just saying it's incredibly. You know what? I'm going to say it.
You sound a little defensive.
I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it's incredibly white for you to be calling that genocide. Okay,
Yes.
It's incredibly fucking white.
Yeah, it's incredibly white and incredibly Western, right?
Yeah.
It's a very North American, grew up in a very, very developed country, pretty well cared for, haven't left the country to explore much kind of privilege.
I mean, I think that part of it is
Polly was on this panel from my chat. Always helpful.
I feel like if we asked people that would really be insistent about that, though, if they if they do just genuinely want what's best for the community, they would say yes, and I think that the problem is that a lot of because if you do like any sort of local organizing, you're going to run into these types, right? People who are like almost like hyper aggressive, like partisan's not the right word, but like polarized activists, right? That just kind of want singularly one
vanguard,
thing, right?
Vanguard.
Maybe, but like the point is though is that
the cringetarians.
Well, it's just that those people, if they do actually come out to political events and make a noise, that's all they end up oftentimes doing. There's pretty much never any actual follow-up policy from them because I feel like politicians mostly, and I feel like mostly correctly, treat people like that as like an oil fire. Just let them burn themselves out. Let them get angry at this meeting, and then they'll leave, and 3 months later we'll have the same meeting over again, and it'll be fine, right? It's just not an effective way to move policy in a certain direction.
And I've often said it's a good thing these people don't.
No disrespect. Hold on, no disrespect. What up, Star? This Wolf. This Wolf.
Wolf! Oh my God, Wolf, what's up?
Hey, how you doing? I was making sure, like, I'm in the halfway house. Like, I keep it real. Like, I'm in the halfway. I told you I was going through stuff months ago, and we talked a couple of times. But I got the in the halfway house. But I was listening to all of this, and I was agreeing with Star. Like, people don't know really oppression. Like y'all don't know oppression. It's Black Americans really go through depression. Like, y'all don't understand about get locked up for nappy dress or your pants too low. Yeah, like it's oppression America did. Like, y'all don't understand that. I was hearing y'all all was talking about like a lot of oppression about everywhere. It's in America too.
Yeah. Yeah,
Hey,
Right, like
abortion.
if everyone disagree with that, like it's in America too. Like, cause I be hearing a lot of leftists and conservatives. Y'all always talking about like black experience and this and that. Y'all most white talking about it. Y'all not going over there in Southside Chicago. Y'all not going over there in Ferguson, Missouri. Y'all not going over there in Baltimore. Y'all just be talking about it, and y'all don't understand nothing about people's experience.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't care.
True.
That's how I feel about it.
Well,
Really?
okay.
I actually
That's
come
right.
from those neighborhoods, so I have some experience with it.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, y'all be having a lot of lists about like how a lot of stuff going on and a lot of stuff doing this and that, but y'all just be talking. And
Yeah. It's the difference between calling something like a genocide and calling something oppression. Oppression is still like an incredibly strong word to use for something, right? And we can still
yes,
accurately use that
Yep.
word. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
I,
we can still use it.
Mm-hmm. And we still do. Well, at least I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just
Wow.
don't care about identitarian politics. I'm for individual liberty.
yeah. I love that libertarian. I love my Second Amendment. I love capitalism. I love
Yeah.
all of that. I'm an A too. I ain't talking about anarchists on the anti-fascist side. I love all of that too. I understand what you're saying. I seen a couple of streams while I'm in the halfway house. I seen your stuff too, cuz.
Yeah,
Fair
Wolfitarian's
enough.
a libertarian, I'm pretty sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm just about like, yeah, I'm not saying I'm libertarian. I'm just about like freedom. Not
Yeah.
freedom in conservative stance though.
Yeah.
But do y'all disagree with what I'm saying?
I don't
I
think
do.
so.
I'm
Wait.
anti-freedom.
I think.
Oh.
Yeah. No. I think the problem is how do you quantify oppression? And the idea that the standpoint epistemology of like there is a unique black experience is, I think, an absurd racist position because I don't think there's a
I'm
unique
not
white
saying rich
experience.
places. If like while
There
I'm
are
in the
places that
halfway
are
house,
worse, but like how do you judge that? How do you quantify that? Why does that need to be race based? It's what we
reason
should.
why it's race based because I was in the halfway house I'm in. I was hearing Destiny streams, but you like I got slipped to burn me like listen to it certain times. But what I'm saying is you got people like black people, my black people, even like Nigerians. I'm talking about blacks and this and that, and I'm talking about that. But what I'm talking about black people is you got like Nigerians, Africans, you got people from Ethiopia. They don't know the black experience. So even like I grew up in Baltimore. Even they were like, "Oh, I came from Nigeria. Why won't you just stop rapping? Why won't you just?" I said, if it was that so good in Africa, why you came to America? We black
Let me put it to you this
Americans,
way.
black
Let me put it to you
Americans
this way.
didn't come over here. Black Americans didn't come over here because we chose to be here.
Let me put it to you this way, right? I think this kind of succinctly puts my point together like this. There's this wonderful interview that Dave Smith does with Spike Cohen just after the Joe Jorgensen election. And what he says is he starts talking about policing issues. And, there's this argument about like, which communities are over policed or police brutality, et cetera, right? And he says, the way I kind of think of it is like this. I'm a white guy and I have a friend that's a black person. And we're walking, we're at a cafe and we go to walk to our cars and police officers come over and beat us mercilessly, right? And my black friend, he's paralyzed permanently and like has internal organ damage, right? And then the white guy, his jaw is broken and wired shut and he breaks his arm and he breaks his leg and he goes to the hospital, but he can walk and he has some facial scarring, but he's all right. And later, we're sitting at the cafe talking about and arguing and screaming at each other about who got beat worse and who we should be more concerned with. when the real problem is that we both got our asses kicked by the cops.
That's no.
Like, and we should be stopping that.
No, you answered a good question. I seen a story while I'm in the halfway house. I seen a story that somebody in the Wagner group got hit and have a hammer because he betrayed his own thing. And that been going back in the day. If they see like a white person taking black culture, they gonna treat you like a brother. You get what I'm saying? So they gonna treat if you with them and you stand up with them, and they gonna treat you the same way. Cause they call you a race traitor. It's like that. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They don't call you a race traitor. If you hanging with somebody that's not in the culture, they gonna look at you and say, "Oh, you a race traitor or you this and that traitor," and you're gonna get treated the same way. I when I was in halfway house, I just saw that in the article that they killed they hit a dude with a hammer because he betrayed the Wagner group. It happens like that, oh, you this and that. You know about the old saying, N-word lover. It's like that. They treat them worse. They said that. They said, we're going to treat the race traitors worse than the race. It's like that. They going to do that, bro.
Can I ask you a question real quick? Is it like that?
Yeah. Like if me and my man's as white, Indian, I love trans, even if I were a trans person, they're going to treat us like an N-word, bro. It don't matter. If you with a person and you stick with a black person, that's what I'm trying to say. It don't matter. If I'm with a white rich guy, a lawyer, they're going to treat the same person like that.
It depends on the region. So in some regions,
I'm in Baltimore.
Yeah, it's a little bit more. There's more of that going on. I'm in California, so that's not as big a deal over here. But
South LA is like that.
Nah, it's pretty multicultural there. So
no. I'm talking about if you with a black person, they're gonna treat you the same way when they arresting y'all. They're not gonna let y'all go and lock the black person up. If you were a black person, that's what I was trying to say. What he was saying, he was saying that the cop beat.
Well, I had a different experience. So one of the things that kind of opened my eyes up to the disparity in treatment between my black friends and myself, because I lived in a predominantly black neighborhood, and we had to deal with the cops occasionally. But the cops would always be nicer to me. They would always look to me first and have me answer questions and stuff. They treat my friends like shit. No, so it was different. They treated me better than they did others.
I understand that. But he was talking about treated. I understand that if I was white person, I say, yo, you take the wheel. They say you was driving. I understand. That's not what I'm saying. He was talking about somebody getting beaten. Majority of people that get beaten were black folks because they spoke up and helped. If I would say Zonia, say you was driving, we'd be fine. We'd be fine. But he was saying something different. He said they both was talking shit. One person survived, the other person only got their jaw broke. That's a whole different story. That's what I'm saying.
I guess I misunderstood you. Sorry.
Yeah. I understand that. But he was saying some two different things. Yeah, I used to do that too to my white friends I went to high school with. I was like, yo, say you was driving. Yeah, but he's talking about if somebody, y'all both was talking shit type of way, they treat you worse. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Not because I'm not.
It's been
a while. It's been a while, and I'm just saying, because like all of this, I don't know. It's like y'all feel uncomfortable. Like what?
What do you mean?
What are you talking about?
Nobody ain't saying nothing now.
Oh, I don't have anything to
topic's
say.
over.
I think the topic's
Yeah.
over.
We kind of moved on from the transgenocide question.
Why are you guys being so fucking nice? Nobody's talking because they don't think they can have a substantive conversation.
No, I like Wolfitarian always has something interesting to say. So
Don't fucking lie.
No, I'm serious.
I take this man seriously.
Hilarious. No, you fucking don't. You
I
lying
do.
sack of shit.
I take him seriously, Fabian. How dare you say otherwise?
Unbelievable.
Scott.
Where's Wolfitarian? He's still here?
Yeah,
he is, yeah.
Okay, yeah. What do you think about the whole genocide conversation?
About the trans community?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe that I believe like what genocide means killing, right?
It generally usually means killing, yeah. Usually means
that's why I like see I don't want I'm not trying to take away about the trend, but if I hear genocide, I think it's killing. So I'm not sure like how they like
that's what I said.
Like,
that's what I said, Wolfitarian. Everyone thinks killing when they think genocide, you know?
Yeah, that's
hey, we got Brento here.
Like if something happened in Germany, what happened to the Jewish brothers? That's why I'm thinking. Like if I hear somebody say, "Yo, I'm gonna regulate your bloodline and I'm gonna do genocide," I think that's killing. I don't like. That's what I'm saying. I'm not sure. Like I'm not here to speak about like the trans community because like in the hood, most of the trans people they don't even say pronouns. They be like, I'm the N, but I'm a girl. Like they don't say I'm she. Like it's different in the black community. Like it's like the gay people in the black community is different. What I see on social media, like it's different.
You know what's weird is I actually know exactly what you mean. Because living where I've lived in my life, I think you're 100% right.
Yeah.
There's like a difference of like gay and trans black people that live in gay and black communities, how they interact versus other communities.
Definitely.
Yeah, because I be looking like I be looking on Twitter. They're like she, her, like black gay people and black trans people, whatever. They don't use pronouns. They either say they gay or straight. They don't use like. That's what I'm saying. I'm not fully into it, and like in black community, like in the black community, you either gay or you not. It's not like they got right like 9 genders. Like it's not like that in the black community.
Yeah,
it wasn't like that for most any community up until a few years ago.
Yeah, no, it's still like that. It's still like that in the black community. Like I got cousins that's gay. I got cousins that's trans. Like even the trans still say she was born a boy. She doesn't say she
got family in Atlanta?
Huh? Baltimore. I'm from Baltimore.
I don't get it.
No, I thought somebody said you from Atlanta.
I'm very lost in this conversation. I'll be completely honest.
Yeah,
no.
It was a joke. For those who know, no.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
I only find out about the she, her, they, them in the past 3 months. I never knew about that.
Yeah, from the online people, right?
Yeah, from online. I never knew about all of that. Like in my community, they either say they gay or straight. It's not like she, her, they. So that's why I'm not gonna get into it because, like, even the black community, even the my black gay community, not even saying they she, them, they, them, and all that. Like I'm not. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, man, you just gotta
just
gotta accept people for how they are, you know.
No, that's what I'm saying. I accept everybody who I am, but the person that
no, you don't.
What?
Yeah, he does.
You don't have to accept people.
Huh?
You have to tolerate people, not aggressive upon them.
I love
anybody.
everybody. I love everybody.
Okay,
No,
that's
some
pretty.
people
That's
suck.
pretty based. I like Wolfie.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm down with that.
Nah, that's fucking
no,
bullshit.
but
Guys,
that's
you tell to fucking pat yourself on the back. Some people suck and you don't like them.
Yeah, I understand. See, that's why I'm saying I'm more like a liberal because people need to learn how to take jokes, and he just said a joke. Like that's what I'm saying. That's why people be saying. Like the only thing my black community was texting, they're like, "Yo, you see how Dave Chappelle? Black people worrying about their sons, but we respect every culture, creed, and whatever." But they was like, "Yo, you see how Kyrie got canceled? You see how Dave Chappelle? You see how this? That's what." But Kanye, y'all could eat them up. Like even the black community was like. So when you talk about George Floyd and all that, but Kyrie, we gotta protect Kyrie and Dave Chappelle. Y'all can't cancel them. Y'all could have
Hey, what's up?
Nah,
what's
man.
Kyrie Irving ever done for you?
Hey,
Kyrie?
Yeah, what's he ever
by
done?
the way, Stardust.
Why you gotta protect?
Peacecraft
Why
wants
you
to
gotta
come on.
protect?
He built like a wire.
Peacecraft wants to Peacecraft.
Peacecraft wants to
No,
come on.
Kanye.
Right now we're a little full, so
Okay.
yeah.
Listen.
No,
okay.
Oh,
Look,
apparently
I'll
he
be-
can't
hold on.
actually join. Never mind.
Look,
Oh,
I'll be honest. I'll be honest, Wolf. Kyrie Irving is a straight up bitch. All right, fuck Kyrie Irving.
I don't know how you bitch though. Can you explain that?
I'm just kidding. I don't know much about Kyrie Irving other than he doesn't like
then
Jewish
see, you
people.
follow the trends. You're being brainwashed. Like, see, that's what I'm saying. This is why people don't
This
know.
man is
I'm
based.
talking
He asks
to
for
halfway
evidence and
else.
claims. Econoboi
Huh?
can't back up his shit.
True.
I see how
Like
it
all
is.
I know is Kyrie doesn't
Kanye-
care for Jewish
no,
people.
Kyrie,
That's
no,
it.
no. I give y'all. That's what I'm saying. I give y'all credit about Kanye. Kanye said some crazy shit. Even the black community was like, "Yo, this nigga wild." So like, what the but Kyrie been tough. Kyrie was like this. Kyrie was like our grandfather or this and that. They say, "Oh, you gotta read the Bible to us," but we don't read it. That's how we see Kyrie. We talk about like we see Kyrie. That's why we call him Uncle Drew, whatever. That's why the movie came. We see him like an uncle, like, oh, whatever. Okay, we're not gonna listen. But Kanye did say some off the wall shit. I give y'all that. Kanye was. Yeah.
Kyrie said some off the wall shit, or like he platformed some off the wall shit. He was talking about what Jewish people running banks and shit, and
Who said
he
that?
was saying Kyrie Irving. He was saying Kyrie.
No,
he
that's
was
Kanye,
saying,
man.
no, they
Stop
were both
getting-
saying the same shit. Like
stop
Kyrie
grouping
Irving
black
said that.
people together,
He
bro.
said no.
That's the
Kyrie Irving
problem.
said that. He said
Kanye.
no. You're fucking misremembering this. Kyrie Irving. He got in trouble originally because he retweeted like a documentary, which was like an anti-Semitic documentary.
Kyrie got in trouble because he said black people are the real Jews. That's why he got in trouble.
No, but Kyrie said the same shit. He said that black people were the
Bro, you
original
getting
Jews
it
too.
confused, bro.
I'm not, Wolf.
You didn't say Kyrie said.
Look, I
about
don't
the
look.
Jews. That was Kanye, bro, not Kyrie.
No, Kyrie said he couldn't be anti-Semitic because of his ethnicity. He's saying black people are the original Jews. He said
That
the
was
same thing.
Kanye, bro.
God damn it, Wolf!
Kyrie
You're
said-
fucking
Kyrie
one-dimensional.
said that in an interview after.
Pull up. Yo, can somebody chat or one y'all click it? Kanye said it. Kyrie didn't say that, bro.
No, but Kyrie did too.
No, why is Kyrie in trouble?
Brent's got my back. All right, thank you.
I'm pretty sure it was Katy Perry who said that.
No, it was
That's
Kanye. No, look it up. Kanye
kidding.
said it.
I'm just messing with you.
What
I'm
did
just
Kyrie do then to get in trouble?
No, Kyrie just posted a thing about black Hebrews. Like Kyrie posted.
That's what
that
the fuck
black
I just
people-
said, Wolf.
No,
Jesus.
listen, Kyrie posted that black people are real Jews. That was
No, that was Kanye.
No, what? Oh, okay,
That
I
was
see what
fucking
you're doing there.
Kanye,
I see
Wolf.
what you're doing there.
Yeah, you got me. You got me.
Yeah, I got you. I see what you're doing
Got me.
there.
All right.
Oh my god.
Yeah, nah. That's what Kyrie did. Kyrie posted that black people are the real Jews.
Bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's dumb as hell, though.
Nah, it is dumb, but I'm saying you're not gonna listen to your drunk uncle every night, right?
I mean, fair enough, right? You got me there.
Well, I mean, it's like what's his name? Who's the guy who's a big fan of like Kim Jong Un? He's like best
Donald
friends
Trump.
with the guy.
Kim Jong-il.
Whoever that guy is.
Dennis Rodman.
Yeah. And he was crying about how much he loves Kim Jong Un. Saying, he like was legit crying. He was all teared up and stuff. And I'm like, man, just leave that guy alone. Like, just leave Dennis Rodman alone.
No, you don't understand. No, because I was looking. I'm not trying to bring like Destiny and this and that, but I was listening like how I was seeing like how other people from London, UK was talking about Black Americans. I was like, yo, they're not even from America, bro. Like, they're like, I'm from Canada. Okay,
Yeah.
keep your like snow bear ass over there, like what? We the black bears. What the
Jesus.
fuck you talking about?
Are you talking
Like,
about Annalicia?
Quick
There's
question.
someone.
Quick question.
yeah, they were like,
Someone's
yeah,
trying.
yeah,
No, have you
quick
ever
question.
seen someone? No, this was a unique. Hold on, Fabian. This was a unique instance where I feel like Wolf was trying to come up with like a racist word for Canadian, but he couldn't come up with one.
Yeah, so it's like snow bear. Is snow bear kind of like a snow bunny, but like a bear in the gay community? Is that what you're going with there? They're like, they specifically want to be black owned, but they're also bears in the gay community.
Like, I'm pretty sure Annalicia's always watching. Okay, she'll fucking jump on this panel. Okay.
I want her to jump on one of these panels. I would think that would be great.
Yo, Star. If she hop on, I might even go Destiny thing because I'm close ties with a couple of people, but I might go on it, but I ain't trying to be racist. I'm just trying because she even admitted they would say they from Nigeria. Nigeria is not black Americans.
Damn, dude, I'd love to see you talk to her, dude. Because I think it was today I saw. The reason I'm saying that is because earlier today I was bored at work. I was listening to Destiny's stream and or like while I was working, I should say, and he was
That's why
she
you
was
were
literally
bored.
making the case. True, but she was literally making the case that like there was a Mexican girl in the call, and she was like, "Why the fuck are you talking about this? You're white." And the Mexican girl was like, "I'm not fucking white. I'm fucking Mexican." And she's like, "That's white." And they had this like hour-long conversation about whether or not Mexican people count as white. And so you're actually taking the radical position that, in fact, Annalicia, you're not even black. And I'd love to see that debate.
No.
We need to see that.
Not a black American. No, I'm sorry. No, she's not a black American. Cause it been yo, bro. Like I'm in a halfway house. My heart been I be here cause I be showing like the people my halfway house. So I say, yo, y'all can get on this internet stuff like this and that. Yeah. Then they was showing stuff that I showed them. They're like, who is this? Like, what? I'm like, no. Like, you don't know how hard it's explain to convicts where I'm at, bro. Like, but anyway, what I was said by Annalicia not even a black American, and like no shot on Destiny, no this and that. Most like I think Destiny probably had like 10 black people on, and all of them said they from the UK and Canada, bro. Like I want y'all to test that because I'm probably not gonna be home perfect like another year, whatever. But I want y'all to test that. Say have real black Americans on, like how Star have me on. Like Star, that's why I said I was always respect Star. Like all that they were like, oh no, I'm from UK. Oh, I'm no. They don't have people like from really black Americans, bro.
Oh, I think Destiny does have, but just today he didn't have them on, you know.
That was too late. He had Abba from fucking Canada. Like who? Gideon's a fucking troll. Like who did he have on?
Look, I saw Gideon go to the most racist town in America. All right, he understands the black.
He trolling. He making
How
his
fucking
money.
dare you?
No, he making his money. That's what I want to do when I come from halfway home.
Have you been to the most racist town in America? All right, just because you're in a halfway house, okay, you haven't been to the most racist town in America. All right.
I think prison is like 10 times that.
Yeah, you know what? You might have an argument there.
Wake up and see bald looking Russians.
You might have an argument there.
Actually brings up a really good point. Like, what if instead of like America's cities and towns, we just replaced them with prisons and just put everybody in prison? We'd have a lot less to worry about, right?
Go to prison, see what people.
Yeah, like big prison.
But he's right. I mean, if you like. We're the most racist town in America. It's like, prisons are probably the most racist places in America. That's probably the truth.
That's probably true.
Yeah.
No, I ain't gonna lie. I think prison's probably more racist than, like, it might seem a meme, but I think prison's more racist than town. But towns, you might get, like, if I'm walking on the street, I might get looked at, so I might call the cops, they check up on me. But prisons, bro...
I'm not gonna lie.
Wake up,
if I saw you right now having this conversation, walking down the street, I would probably be like, "All right, somebody needs to do a welfare check on this cat."
That's what I'm saying. But prisons, I think is like really the most. Like I'm from Baltimore. I think prison probably the most racist thing. Like. You see CEOs with SS on their neck. You see, bro. It's like
I have a question. Because you're not using a camera, can you prove that you're not Nuka Zeus? And you are indeed black.
Oh no. Okay, I'll show you who Nuka Zeus is. Nuka Zeus is this guy.
Wow, that took a fucking turn.
Nuka Zeus is this guy, this white guy who says that he's black, who gets injections in his skin to make himself look black.
Is that Nuka Zeus you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, a few times, yeah.
Dude, that dude is one of my favorite YouTubers. I watch him all the time.
Really? He still makes YouTube content?
I'm kidding. I've seen some of his stuff though, but no, I don't.
Y'all trying to say I'm not black?
No, Stardust brought up the Nuka Zeus
I
guy.
think the anarchist dude with the yellow background said I'm not black.
I said, can you prove it? You don't have a camera.
Oh, I missed that.
You're not Nuka Zeus. Just curious, can you?
I can't prove or disapprove like the Bible.
All right, well, Gideon is showing his face, all right? So, like, that's another one for Gideon.
I come on the panel like once every
You're not
6
black
months.
you're not black if you're making millions? Well, that's racist.
No, I'm saying
Oh
Gideon.
my god.
I'm saying Gideon making millions already. I'm in a halfway house. I've been going through this and that. I'm not gonna show me in a fucking brown outfit in a halfway house right now.
So,
I got this phone. I snuck it in. They be doing that. You got to pay a couple guards. They give you a phone. See, I'm not doing too much in this. No, see, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. I can't prove that I'm black or white. That's what I'm saying. I keep it real.
That's fair.
Yeah.
What do you think about people who?
If y'all raise your hand, do I sound white or black?
Black.
Yeah, you sound black.
What do you feel, Star?
Black, yeah.
Zonia?
You sound very white to me. I'm sorry.
Okay, when I come out in 5 years, would you give me $1,000? Or would you put it on my comp? If I prove to you if I'm black, would you put $500?
I wouldn't care. I'm okay with you either way. I think you.
I'm gonna be honest. You all sound American to me.
But do I sound black American though?
Really?
I don't know. I can't really tell the difference. Yeah, no. I mean,
he struggles with accents, right? You know, so he's like, he's British. What they do is they try to force everybody else to speak the way they do.
You do speak the way we do. Like you just speak it imperfectly.
Becca, what does a black person from the UK sound like? Can you do like?
No, they sound like this. No. This is what a black person from the UK sound like.
They sound like everyone else.
No, can you do an impression?
Wait. Wolfitarian's gonna do one.
I want to hear it. Yeah.
Yeah, Wolfitarian, go ahead.
Well, okay, come on, nigga. Come on, nigga. Like it's like that. Come on,
Becca,
nigga.
can you do an impression for us?
I'm terrible. I'm terrible at all impressions, and also not fucking idiot.
Okay, Becca, how about this? Becca, do an impression of a brown person, okay?
No.
If y'all look up Black Twitter in UK, Canada, they like black people got all the guns, and UK always be quiet, all that. They were like, cause they used always like this and that. Same thing. They had Anissa and the other UK girls talk about black issues in America. Oh, that's Counterpoint. I was looking at you on the Destiny stream.
What's up, man? How you living?
Yeah. And you
saying he was looking at you because that new haircut, like the light just shines, right? It draws attention.
That's how my CEOs
it's very fresh.
Look like Counterpoints. They look like that. I think you're a cop. Was you a cop or you a cop?
I'm an ex-cop, yes.
Okay then. That's how they all look in jail, bro. They look like him.
Yeah,
that's what I do. I didn't say nobody else on this panel. I didn't say nobody. Okay then.
You can be an ex-cop, but you never get to be an ex-Marine.
Apparently, that's what I'm told.
Ex-Marine.
I don't know why those are the rules. I just follow them.
I use the term former and everybody gets butthurt about it. But basically, if you see somebody who looks like me and they're trying to buy drugs from you, do not sell them drugs.
That's what I was saying the whole time.
This is what every cop looks like when they go undercover. They just shave their head, they grow their hair out, and then they like maybe put in an earring. So
That's
if you see somebody like me with an earring, you don't.
Dude look like a cop. I didn't say Zonia. Yeah. I didn't say the two people on the left and right look like a cop. So he popped out. I said, yo.
Wait, I look like a cop?
Cop experience. They even say he did.
I look like a cop.
Look like this. They look hard.
I don't know, Counter. If you showed up in a leather jacket on a Harley, like I might sell you meth.
Meth, yes.
Yeah, I wouldn't sell other drugs. Like if you asked me for other drugs, I'd be like, I'm suspicious.
Yeah,
but, you put a leather jacket on you on a Harley, I'd be like, yeah, this guy might actually want some meth.
I think it's really interesting to hear that I look like a cop. I didn't. That's
why I knew it. That's why I said it's social demanding. Like I didn't say none of y'all, but soon he popped. I said, yeah, this how my CEOs look. This how the cops looking out in our community, like him.
We should study police physiognomy, right? Like, what's the kind of skull shape that gets police officers
no, you're going to do phrenology for police? God, dude.
Well, people were telling me on Twitter that IQ is akin to phrenology, so, we might as well go all the way with it.
It's pretty reasonable to say that cops have differently shaped skulls and they have a reduced amount of gray matter, particularly surface area gray matter.
Right.
So I think that's actually
on their head as children.
Yeah, exactly.
No. It's not.
They ended up, licking the boot because they were dropped on their heads. And
it's not saying that. It's not saying that. No disrespect. I'm not trying to judge because I'm not racist. I'm not. I'm not.
We're talking shit. We're talking shit.
Is the police officer? Is your CO in the room with you?
No. What's your name?
What are you saying, man? Dog, thin blue line. I saying the right thing, right?
No, what's your name? I forgot.
Which one? Mine or his?
No, with the yellow, the bumblebee, yellow and black.
Fabian.
Savian?
Or Fabian. Fabian Liberty or Scott. Doesn't matter.
I call you libertarian. I don't know what the fuck you just said, but
that's fair.
Welcome to class. No.
I think we need to all do that. Just be like, hey, you're a libertarian, dude.
Look like libertarian in the hood. I might not.
There's no libertarians in the hood.
No.
All right, blog.
So I think what's your name? Counter.
Yeah, the channel's name is Counterpoints.
Yeah. No. I'm trying to tell you, majority of people in community policing look like counterpoints, not libertarian. So that's why I knew. I was like, yo, he's like a cop. Not even the two dudes in the left with glasses. They might be snitches. They might be like, oh, we're gonna snitch and send counterpoints out. But majority of people look like counterpoints in the hood.
The only time I'm gonna snitch on you is if you start encroaching on my business.
I'm amazed by the amount of people who don't think I'm a Fed, frankly. Like, I'm really surprised by on a regular basis.
Yeah. No. Zonia's going to a point.
You start growing too much. I'm gonna have to snitch on your ass.
No, Zonia's getting to a point though. What Zonia was saying.
I don't even remember what I was saying.
You said how the structure look and all that.
Well, if this is your show.
Oh yeah, we should talking cops. Yeah, we should talking cops saying that they have differently shaped skulls and reduced brain surface area.
I said that. I was fucking around.
That's wrong.
Yeah. But I was talking about cops, so it's okay. We can shit on cops that way. It is approved. It is sanctioned by the left. So
I don't shit all cops.
Paradigm, you want to jump in?
I do.
Paradigm, wanna jump.
Yamato wants to join as well.
Oh yeah, Yamato can join.
Ooh,
and
I
then
would really enjoy having Yamato on.
Just for y'all, I'm editing in the background, so if I'm listening to shit while I'm listening to y'all. So if you need to yell at me or ask me about something, just say my name a couple of times loudly, and I'll pause my shit.
I'm going to be honest. I've never felt more British than what on this fucking panel. This is the most English I have ever felt, and I really like.
I just wanted to say there's only one black person in this space that actually matters, and he's here right now. Black Yamato. That's all that matters.
Alexa wants to bring on Sprout, by the way.
Oh no! Come on! No!
That was the perfect time, honestly.
He's had too many close calls with me. No.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? The fact that, like, when we were in a call and, like, Alexa was like, "There's a South African here," he immediately just went, "Oh, what? You matter South African rather than
oh my
rather than me."
I'm
pretty sure I've told him that I'm South African as well. He still said you.
Hey, Becca, you're South African?
I am from Joburg.
I remember I went to grad school with a guy from South Africa, and he was a white guy, which is somewhat relevant later on in the story.
Can I just ask, does this story, because every time someone does this to me, they're like, I know somebody from South Africa, it ends with, and I knew him right up until he was horrifically murdered. So is this one of those stories, or like a nice story?
Land back.
What happened was
definitely land back.
It is a common occurrence for South Africans.
I was with I think I was with a girl that I worked with, and there was I think that there was like an Instagram video of my South African friend that I was showing her, and she just listened to him talk, pretty standard South African accent, and she was like, "Hey, is your friend like retarded?" And for some reason in her head, she's like, "Oh, like South African accent." In her head, that was like, "Oh, this guy's like mentally
he's got an issue
deranged or something." Yeah.
Oh my god!
Hold on. See, now I feel offended. Okay, now I feel offended as a possible South African. What makes
I wasn't calling South African people retarded. I was quoting my friend.
Listen, retarded or Dutch?
That's not Wolf talking, so don't think all black people sound alike. So I don't shut the fuck up.
You definitely don't sound like Yamato, to be fair.
What was the question?
I didn't ask a question. You just jumped in.
You said retarded or Dutch. Which one of you guys said it?
Oh, that was
retarded or Dutch.
What?
Okay, real question.
Dutch.
I know that there are a lot of Wait a second. Wait a second, guys. Pause for a second, okay? This is very important. I know that there are a lot of RimWorld players in the chat right now. RimWorld people, I just came across a hive in my RimWorld. What do I do?
Oh my god.
Oh, she's trying to pull a Destiny.
Nobody.
How do I play my Factorio?
You're supposed to let everybody talk, and what you do is you deafen, and then you ask your audience.
No, this is not how I operate, Zonia, okay? I will pause the fucking panel to ask people, what do I do with the hive in RimWorld? Okay? I'm new to these, okay? So
I could see where your priorities lie. So much for being a panel host.
Real people, okay, play not RimWorld, they play Elden Ring. Okay.
I played Elden Ring for like 5 minutes and I was really bad at it, and I think I like to play things that are not going to frustrate my viewers, So
look, real people, real people
play
Minecraft. That's what we do. We play Minecraft. We play it vanilla. We play it hard difficulty. And we play it multiplayer only.
I don't want to play Legos.
I can hear you, buddy, but everybody's talking.
Game takes. What are you doing? No.
All right, shut up.
Play Heroes of Might and Magic 3. I'm just saying.
I swear to God, guys. I swear to fucking God, if you don't shut up, I'm gonna hold a fucking tribunal for you in Minecraft, and we're gonna execute you. Anyways,
Stardust?
Back to the topic.
If you're gonna scream at us, I think you should do it in banana style.
I don't know.
You're right.
That sounds like a cookout.
Okay. Okay. Back to the original topic that we were on was cash bail. Do we want to get back on cash bail?
Y'all can if you want.
Yeah, let's go back to cash bail.
All right, for me, I think the proof is going to be in the pudding over the next, I don't know, couple of years or whatever. I've heard that there's people in New York who are talking a lot of shit about it right now, even though it was kind of their idea to do it. So it's just going to kind of depend on whether or not that's your vibe. Like, it's cool that people are getting out of jail. That way they can get back to work and pay their bills. But that also means that some fucking schizos are going to be getting out and they're going to be stabbing people. So you're going to have to make your decision on what you want to do. Do you want to live in a red state where people get fucked over? Or do you want to live in a blue state where you get stabbed by a schizo who got out of jail 20 seconds ago?
I don't know. That latter one sounds kind of exciting.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a false
which was cash bail.
No, the problem that I see is that cash bail, without a doubt, is just kidnapping, right? Like you're innocent until proven guilty. Now, if you're a danger or a threat to society, then a grand jury should decide whether or not you are able to leave or whether or not you need to wait trial. The issue is that we have an overburdened criminal justice system because we have so many victimless crimes that we prosecute, and we don't have the resources in order to give people their right to a fair and speedy trial. So the thing is that cash bail is just morally wrong. There's no way around that. It's kidnapping of people. And if you want to look at it from a consequentialist perspective, right? What it essentially means is that poor people, right, that can't upfront those payments, end up stuck in jail, going to court in jumpsuits, not getting proper representation, not able to go back out into society and work and get that representation. And wealthy people end up paying what it is that they need to pay, and then going back, showing up to court in their suits, getting proper representation. It's an additional barrier to create a two-tier justice system.
Fucking knew it.
Because
there's
no
way Fabian's in favor of fucking cash.
Because you can't just stop arresting people for fucking weed.
Okay, so there's another thing I think is very predatory to low income communities. Like I've seen like whole family members spend a lot of money to bail out one person, and they have to scramble through resources, get loans from people, and all this. I think that system itself is very predatory, I guess I would say, to low income families and certain minority groups.
I mean, it's predatory on its face. We don't have to look at the consequences of like which community is affected more. We can just simply say that it's extortion by the state, and you remain kidnapped, whether or not it doesn't matter what your skin color is.
I'm kind of libertarian.
Or whether or not you can afford it.
Black people in the libertarian community say racism is real. Like that's why black people don't never mess with libertarians. Y'all always say, "Oh, we can't say this is race. We can't say this and that." You like why is y'all so scared to say racism is real in America? I'm talking about America, not Canada, not UK. That's my thing. I don't get about y'all libertarians. Yeah, y'all speak on black issues, but y'all don't really target the people that it's happening to. Answer that question.
Because we're not collectivists. Because we're not collectivists.
So
I'm an individual. I care about individual rights and human rights.
So how can you care?
Wait. Okay, so I think because I had a little bit issue trying to understand. I think what he's trying to say is like you're afraid to say that this is more of a racial issue, right? Or it's like when we bring up this being a racial issue, you want to shift it to like, no, everyone has this fucking problems where like I've
class
seen
reduction, right?
Yeah,
class reductionist. But
I'm going off of
no, I literally don't care. I just don't. I don't give a fuck if it disproportionately.
No. Disrespect. I guarantee libertarians. I think black. I said it before.
I think it's wrong.
80% of black people is libertarian.
Well, so let me steal woman. Let me steal woman Scott here. So Scott's position, correct me if I'm wrong. I think Scott and I tend to understand each other pretty well. Scott's position is that it's an imposition that we shouldn't have in the first place, and we should just get rid of it. And that the problem that we have right now is that our criminal system is just so overburdened. And so we need to start stripping away a lot of these excessive penalties and imprisonments that we have already, getting busted for pot, etc. So if we could get rid of a whole bunch of these frivolous things that we end up arresting people and housing them for, and if we then we can have a better opportunity to look at people case by case basis and how much of a flight risk they are, and choose whether or not they need to be held or they can be released and given, a date to come back for court.
I mean, I understand what you're saying, Zonia, but I was talking about the libertarian perspective. Like,
the libertarian perspective is sort of
libertarians come to a black community and preach, and no libertarians don't come to black community. It only be one conservative. Rand Paul did it in 2014.
I know.
You should check out. You should check out Maj Dre. He founded Black Guns Matter.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. But I'm saying, if you speak to majority of black Americans, is pretty libertarian, bro. But the libertarians always speak that racism is not real. That's when we cut away from that party too. Libertarians need to.
Libertarians don't say that, dog.
Yeah, they'll say racism is real. But...
No, libertarians don't believe it's not real. They just talk about drugs.
Well,
they don't
depends.
say it affects African. I think the last person that said it was Joe Johnson, and she got crucified by the Libertarian Party, mission race. So libertarians don't do that. Libertarians just say, it's this and that, but they won't be the individual, but they speak up when they see somebody on YouTube getting pulled over. Nah, that's what I'm saying. Libertarians pussies in disguise, bro.
Damn,
I'm not a goddamn
pussies in
pussy.
disguise.
You're the one that won't show your face. You're the one that won't show your face.
Okay. Wait a minute, guys. Let's clear the room for a second. I want to give Econoboi a chance because Econoboi's made some pretty good arguments about ending cash bail, and then I want to see what the opposite perspective would say to him. So
well, we haven't even heard from Paradigm
like
yet. He joined a while ago.
Oh, you know what, Paradigm? Why don't you go ahead?
I'm just in the way. I'm in the distance. I like to see, because I've seen all of your faces before. I believe I've only had a run-in with Counterpoints and Fabian at this point. We were part of the 2021 class of the Hippy Dippy showdowns. I believe that's the only time. I just like to catch the vibe of the room. What I'm hearing from everybody is kind of this, and I'm being honest with y'all, I never come onto these things, period. I'm hearing like you all kind of are in favor of ending cash bail, but some people are just worried about the perspective in which you're willing to do it. Because as Fabian, as you do know, there have been very intricate moments that you've given to us where you kind of have laid it out as in the problem is the thing itself and not the people it affects. And I think that for people who aren't used to being exposed to people who can articulate their thoughts as well as we can, it might seem like a kind of, hey, I'm doing this for everybody. You don't have to make it about the specifics, but it's like ending cash bail still doesn't resolve us to a point of fixing the justice system when more Black people are arrested than anyone else. The problem is that once we finish one goal, there's always, it's done, it's over, we're good, and nobody cares anymore. If you're going to go one step, you have to go a further step. Now, I'm not saying I disagree with you in any way. This is just what I'm hearing. Now, Econoboi, I believe it is time for you to echo your sentiments. I have finished.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I was just gonna say. I mean, I don't have much to say. It sounds like we kind of mostly all agree that ending cash bail makes some sense. I mean, obviously, there's some kinks in the system that you have to work out, right? You have to determine what a reasonable set of standards for releasing someone is. If you deem that they're dangerous or a flight risk or something like that, and like, what does that even mean? Like, who counts as what and things like that. But I think that it seems like the biggest effect of ending cash bail in the locations where it's happened is that there's just a hell of a lot less people in fucking jail for like minor offenses, right? People who are in jail for doing drugs or whatever it is, or things like that. I mean, it just doesn't seem like a big deal.
No, just for the libertarians, what majority of the races is.
You don't give a fuck. Like,
no,
my biggest
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
I love
okay,
it.
Can I push back? Can I push back a little bit on Econoboi's point? Because like I can see the arguments for ending something like cash bail, but the truth is, like, there are wider. Like, firstly, like, we talk a lot about cash bail, but the probation system in the US is fucked. Essentially, it drives people into debt in the long term anyway. There are larger systemic problems within the US prison system that, like, cash bail is a problem within. At the same time, like, ending cash bail completely, I think is probably a bad idea, because I think there are certain crimes where cash bail makes sense. Like, so for instance, like serious financial crimes.
Or the R word, RAPE. I don't think they should.
Why does it make sense with financial crimes?
Because things where we're talking about
ill-gotten gains and
like
as
stuff.
ransom.
No, because
you're innocent until proven guilty. What are you talking about?
It's not.
Yeah,
It's
but
not
if
just
you're-
that.
if
but
you're- hold on. Can I
Wait.
finish
Yeah,
my
let's
point?
let Beckett make his point. Okay, go ahead.
So, like, for certain things where you're talking about stuff where people might move stuff out of the country, because really, when we're talking about flight risks, we're talking about people who are either looking to, like, on the low level, leave the state, or there are other ways to solve that issue, such as tagging, for example, which, like, again, isn't a perfect solution, but is a solution. But when you're talking about people with, like, who have, like, potentially committed serious financial crimes, like, who have an awful lot of money, like, locking down a part of their finances to go, well, we're not going to just limit the risk of you, like, fleeing. We're going to limit the risk of you potentially hiding things and doing other elements. So, like, yes, everyone is innocent until proven guilty, but at the same time, there has to be some precautions, because we see what happens when there are no precautions, or when we, like, seriously limit, like,
I think one of the most dangerous things you can do there is lock someone's money down, and having the government come in and lock somebody's access to funds down. Nah, that's a bad idea.
To be fair, though, people can do that already. When in the investigation process, you can get accounts frozen and stuff like that. I mean, I just don't think that.
I wish that we couldn't. I wish that they couldn't. I think that's actually one of the most egregious overreaches of government ever.
That's just a secondary conversation. It's just that, you know, if the idea is like, you know, cash bail can be used as a proxy for trying to, you know, create, you know, make people's wealth more static or something. It's a very poor proxy to do that when the tools to do that are much better anyway. And again, if you're worried about this rich, you know, hedge fund scam artist fleeing the country, then just keep him in fucking jail, you know? That's
Robert Durst
the real
did that.
the real issue here is, you know, one that people don't like to talk about, but it's political tactics. And so if you just end cash bail because cash bail is wrong, sure, that's great. That's a moral good because you have done less kidnapping of people. But if you utilize that, like if you take that by itself, what are the consequences? Is that you will often have like woke DAs that, you know, package this together in criminal justice reform that doesn't actually help. And so what you're going to end up with.
Can you describe woke in your eyes?
Yeah, critical consciousness. There you go.
No, cause I've been saying they talk about woke TVs. They woke. What is woke? Is it black
progressive critical consciousness?
Well, let's let Scott finish, and then we can have him clear that up later.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying critical consciousness. But so the problem is that if people come, the types of people that will really push that in cities will be in a position where it doesn't come with what I said, right? Which is that if a grand jury proceeding,
chat, give me money, subscribe, super chat, thank you,
until your trial. And so what's going to end up happening is it only takes a few cases where an individual is let out after cash bail, and you end up in like a Walter Mondale situation. You end up in a situation where someone gets out and they probably wouldn't have gotten out if cash bail hadn't been reformed. They kill someone.
All right, thank you for the raid.
It goes, see, this is what happens when left-wing
feel free to join
of criminal justice reform is you get crime in your communities, people are murdered, and this is why we need to reinstitute these things. This is why we need to go tough on crime. This is why we need to make or Donald Trump being like, let's get the death penalty for people that sell drugs. And so like you don't actually fix anything. All you get is a temporary reprieve from an evil and then create like a political pendulum swing that doesn't make any fucking sense. So the only way you can really institute fairly cash bail reform is if you're willing to package first a reduction in the burden on the criminal justice system first. It's the same thing with like, you know, defunding the police. It's the same problem. It's like you just cut funding, but you have the same amount of crime, like the same amount of laws in place that they're forced to enforce, then you're obviously going to get increased crime. Like you haven't allowed anyone else to take that position. And so we do have to kind of look at this from a tactics perspective.
Yeah, as much as I would love to stay here for a little bit, I have been streaming. I just wanted to catch the vibe. I will be hopefully coming back very soon. I just want to say, on record, because I know this is going to start a whole bunch of problems. Fabian, that's probably about the smartest thing I've ever heard you say.
That's
nice.
That is probably about the most agreeable. Stick there and we'll be great.
No, it's cool. It's cool. I get it. This is the first time you're listening.
Right, exactly. Yeah, like, you know, just keep on that trend. And with that, I will bid you all a good night.
See ya,
Have a good one.
Paradigm.
Thanks for joining us.
See ya.
Later.
Also,
by the way,
trying to
thank
make
you,
a- I'm trying to
IRI,
make a
for the
good
Paradigm.
point.
raid.
Everyone always has to do like a
I'm-
backhanded fucking way.
Wait
to
a
say it.
minute. Wait a minute.
Nah, I think you make good points sometimes, dude. I thought it was a good point too, by the way.
Okay, IRI, thank you for the raid. Feel free to join if you'd like. And also, guys, remember to
For the record,
subscribe.
IRI's a bitch that won't debate me on CRT because he's a pussy and said he would, and then backed
And
out
super
after he
chat.
realized I knew what I was talking about.
And super chat don't forget to super chat and subscribe to me because this is my only way that I make money. And if I don't make money, I'm going to starve and die, and you'll never get content from me again. Okay, back to the panel. Sorry, continue.
Also, hi, IRI.
Hi, IRI.
Hey, Ira.
I guess what the new topic is now is IRI a bitch? Because that was what Scott proposed for the
He's a
topic, right?
bitch.
Nah, he was okay. IRI just jumping in real quick.
I'm just
he was
calling him out.
He was super nice on a hippy dippy. I talked shit about electoralism. I'm happy that somebody takes it seriously, and just because I don't take it seriously doesn't mean that I don't respect him. Obviously,
God.
you need to vote, but I think we should be doing shit in our own communities without necessarily relying on voting to save everything within the system. But I respect his efforts.
I'm joking, by the way. It's like you guys don't have to jump in and overcompensate. It's okay.
I'm just
I like
talking a little bit
IRI.
of shit.
All right,
'Cause
I like
he said he'd
IRI.
debate me.
Caught me, jeez.
IRI showed up on my
I
chat
was
the
just
other
talking a
day.
little bit of shit because he said he would debate me on a topic and then realized that I knew what I was talking about and was like, no, I'm good. And then told
Oh.
people he was like, I should never have accepted that debate, and then slinked away.
I'm sure there's another reason why he chose to decline that
I'm
debate. Maybe you should
I'm
talk to
sure.
him about it.
Why?
IRI's a nice guy.
Yeah, IRI is a nice
Ira
guy.
is a nice guy.
See, the panel agrees.
I have
I'm
no
sorry,
idea.
Scott.
There we go.
The room is against you,
Fabian
Scott.
takes
Who
the
said-
L.
Who said bitches can't be nice guys, right?
Oh,
Like,
no,
I-
we're-
you know,
Hey, so would
Oh,
anybody
what a
be
pivot!
offended-
What a
would
pivot from
Come on.
Scott. Typical.
Would anybody
Wow.
be offended-
Typical. Typical
would anybody-
libertarian.
Like, I'm not
Typical.
saying he's not a nice guy. I'm just
Okay,
saying he's a
hey,
bit of a bitch.
hey, everybody shut up. We need to get back on topic, okay? But
What?
Black Motto. Black Motto, what were you trying to say?
Yeah, a person of color is speaking. You guys just like literally were talking over me. Thank you, Stardust. As a fellow woman of color, I appreciate this. Go ahead. Would
I'm a
anybody
banana.
be would anybody be offended if I
Racist
say I
term.
don't know who?
What
Oh
was
wow, black dude and banana. Oh, really funny. Okay, guys.
Well, a banana, like people
Oh my
call,
gosh.
some people
Oh my
call
gosh.
Asian
I
people
have that
bananas because they're like, oh, you're yellow on the outside and white on the inside. It's an offensive term.
Yeah,
Stardust.
They call them. They call
I
them.
thought that was usually
coconuts.
Twinkie. I thought that was usually Twinkie.
I've heard banana.
I could go for a Twinkie.
Okay.
I've
okay.
always heard coconut.
All you guys are just making this shit up as you go.
Yeah, but I don't know who IRI is. Like seriously, this is my first time hearing about that.
He's the guy who's going to
older
challenge
streamer.
Scott
How
to a
much-
boxing match.
I'm really important. You've probably heard of him.
He's
No,
pretty
Been in
fly
Twitch
for a white
politics
guy.
for a long time, and he's a pretty big streamer.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to it, guys. So
New
back
topic.
to it. I thought we're still on bail. No, we're not on bail anymore.
I say we move to a new topic.
I thought he was
Okay,
talking
what's the
about
new topic?
genocide. I thought he was talking about
Can
genocide.
we please not talk about the genocide, please?
Oh, we were already talked about it earlier.
Oh, thank
By the way,
God.
Yamato, what's your position? Do you
Jesus
believe that there's
Christ.
a trans
Zonia,
Please not talk about
Zonia,
it.
like, I know, look, I get it, you're going down.
I gotta
You're
do
going
it.
down,
I gotta
you
do it. I
understand?
gotta do the
Like,
litmus test.
fucking-
I gotta make sure that Yamato, he hangs out with me sometimes, and so I gotta make sure whether or not he's a transphobe. I gotta see.
Why you putting
Wait,
me?
who, me?
Why you put me on the spot like this, Zonia?
I did it to Stardust earlier. Now I gotta do it to you.
I will say for clarity that yes, it seems to be going in that route.
Dodging a bit there.
What do you mean
dodging a
dodging?
little? Not gonna say whether or not it's a genocide. A little bit of softball going on there, playing the centrist.
The fence sitting is Fuck it. I'll go on a limb and I'll say, yeah, it's kind of a genocide going on.
Nah, you
Okay.
trying to
Are you serious?
Nah, get deeper. You
Okay,
trying
so
to
Yamato
right
is
now.
not a transphobe. He doesn't hate trans people, which means, unfortunately, Yamato, you can't hang out with me anymore. So
Wow.
I'm gonna have to kick you out of most of my servers.
Classic.
Are you serious? Oh, fuck.
Classic double switch.
Got him.
Oh, Yamato.
Stardust, ask the panel how funny a transphobic joke has to be before you're allowed to tell it in public.
Public or with friends?
In public.
Right?
I say some of
do you
Dave
mean?
Chappelle jokes was pretty funny.
I don't know if you should be.
But
I would
they
say,
still got
what do you mean by allowed?
That's the real question.
Right? You say whatever the fuck you want. Like, might get banned off of Twitter, but like, what do you mean by allowed?
Stardust.
I can't believe Zonia actually put me on
Not
the
getting
spotlight.
canceled by a large group of people.
Oh, not getting canceled. Well, see, that also depends upon like your political persuasion, right? No one's gonna fucking cancel you
Fabian
because
loves free speech.
You just want me to get
Right.
targeted.
it's lefties that will cancel other lefties or like people that want to be a part of the narrative. You don't like being canceled just means you get pushed out of the Overton window. Of
No, Sansa got
leftist
mass
rhetoric.
reported and banned off of Twitch, permaban.
Yeah, that's right.
Like the indefinite. So it means more than that
Sansa
because
was
they're very, very
permabanned off of
zealous.
Twitch?
Right.
Yeah.
But that's because Sanso's a leftist, right?
Wait. What did he say that got him permabanned?
He said
Um,
there's no
he was having-
genocide happening.
He was having a debate with Ellen DeGenerate about whether or not there was a trans genocide.
you can't even talk about. God damn.
No,
can't-
that's
you
not
can't
why he
say-
got. Okay, we're
Oh,
completely.
that was my
Okay.
understanding. I wasn't
So
trying
he
to
didn't
discredit
get
that.
Okay, no. He didn't get. Okay, I'm not familiar with the situation, but I know he didn't get banned for not saying that. Okay, he probably got mass reported for other things he said in the past that
He
got him
probably
banned.
did. He
because of
probably,
that.
Do you
I
know
think it was
whether
that
he did or he
VOD,
probably
though.
did?
I think it was that
the
stream,
fact
though.
that
Like,
Stardust
you say that
has
didn't
like
happen, it was
no,
probably this,
Brent,
but what was it?
No,
what
Brent,
actually happened?
you don't know shit about why he was banned
Well,
either
I know, but
because
you
nobody
sound
does.
like you
Twitch
don't.
doesn't release banned reasons.
Well,
Okay,
let
but
me
here's
just-
how I know he didn't get banned for saying trans people weren't genocided because tomorrow
Oh, there goes a
nobody
conflict.
on this fucking panel is going to be banned from Twitch. Because if
Mhm.
all you did is say, I do not believe there is a genocide against trans people, you're not going to get fucking banned for that. What happened to Sansol is probably what happened to pretty much everyone who gets attacked by these leftist communities, is that he probably said some shit that is bannable, but he just didn't get mass reported. And so after he got mass reported, the shit that he said that was bannable got flagged by Twitch, and then he got banned. That's a much more probable
Okay, I
story.
would
Yes,
have to
that's a good
probable
point. That's a
story,
good
but
point
it
by
has nothing
Econoboi.
to-
I agree with
I would
Econoboi.
have
Listen,
to, I would have to relook
Listen,
at
that's bullshit. TOS does not matter. Okay, if you're egregious in going over TOS, it matters.
Black Lives Matter.
But if you're, but all of the gray
Trans rights.
TOS is vague. Number one. Number two, Twitch and YouTube don't follow their own TOS like regularly, right? For example, if as a white guy, if I started saying the N word and not saying it in a derogatory way towards someone, I would get banned, even though that's not against TOS. And if you're a black person and you say it all the time,
Fabian,
you're not going to get banned, right?
He's right.
So,
Fabian.
real quick,
Stop booing him. He's
what
right.
matters in terms of TOS is two things. Number one, do you make enough waves to where journalists start
Get in
talking
color.
shit? Right? Because if you make them enough waves where journalists start talking shit, you start fucking with the bottom line of Twitch. They get scared about the fact that it might hit their ad revenue, and you get banned for some dumb shit reason. And number two, do you get mass reported to such a degree that no one cares to look into it? And then maybe they'll overturn it if it's like obviously a bullshit reason. But if it's a gray area, they'll just leave it because you're not big enough for them to care and they don't want to cause problems. That's how you get that's how you get banned.
Okay, Fabian, can you answer my question now?
You should go ahead.
It's been like 3 fucking months. Okay, I need you to answer this question. All right? So if you
What's the
call me
question?
if you call me the N word, does that make you a good ally?
What?
Yeah, I'm asking the question. If you call me N word, does that make you a
Yamato's
good
asking
ally?
the questions here, Fabian.
Right. I don't
What
I mean, like,
context?
I don't like, what do you mean? Like, I'm probably not an ally anyway. So I think it's probably irrespective of whether or not I say a racial epithet towards you. I don't
Yo, who the
understand.
fuck says allies in the hood? Who is this dude talking about? Do that make you an ally? Who is this dude? Not you.
This quiz.
libertarian.
Black Yamato, man.
What's his name?
Can you fucking read it? It says it right in the chat. It says Black Yamato.
Bro, nobody don't say it's ally in the hood.
Well, I do. I live in the hood, and I can. You want me to? You want me to? You want me to switch? You want me to switch my dialect? I'll say a lot of N words. You want me to do it? I'll do it.
Yeah.
No, it's
Speaking
not
my
fair to the
language.
white people.
No,
don't
that would
wanna-
make you.
I don't wanna-
That would make you a very bad
I don't-
ally, Black Yamato. You'd be a very
Like,
bad
I don't,
ally.
I
I've
don't
never
wanna,
heard
I don't want to
somebody say
scare
you my
Brento.
ally.
Okay. I don't want to scare
Thanks,
Brento.
man. I appreciate it. Thank you. I appreciate
Oh, okay. You don't want to scare the people on the panel. Okay, I'll
it.
shut up.
No, 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 no. You can say it. Just remember that every white person in here is gonna feel incredibly jealous that you're saying it. So
Or,
I'm gonna feel
or
left
guilty.
out.
One or the
Yeah.
other.
Yeah,
Jealous
or
or
guilty.
guilty, depending on what your politics are.
No,
Can
no, no.
Stardust
It's just
say the N word?
I do not recommend it.
no, it's just that I remember an argument you got into a while ago, and you said if you was like transphobic, that makes you a good ally. So I was wondering, would you hold the same thing with racism? And that was maybe 3 weeks.
Yeah, I don't think
3
they're
months ago.
one. I don't think they're analogous. Two, I think you're referencing my debate with Poly People, which was a fucking meme debate. Anyways, nobody takes that bitch seriously. And the only reason I went into that debate was to prove by her own definitions that technically she was the transphobe and I wasn't, because of the circular logic that leftists use in the way that they define all of these stupid fucking terms to begin with.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so I want to hear you two fight about whether or not ally is the right word.
I don't care.
I think ally is not the right word because I was saying before I was on parole, they was like, "Oh, I'm a BLM ally." Like, only thing ally means is you with somebody, but you really it. Like ally don't really mean nothing. I could say ally with Counterpoints, the Libertarian dude, Zonia, Boy, and whoever.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I could say I'm allies with you, but with the black community, black. Yo, that's what I was saying because I was watching a lot of I'm just talking about black, just like how Zonia saying genocide. I thought I'm sorry, Zonia. I thought genocide means
Give me
killing.
subs.
So if it might be
Give
every
me money.
term
I'm
might be different
mugging
because
you.
when I thought they said genocide, I thought you seeing people get killed, hang on it, like that's what I thought genocide is
Thank you,
can you
This is why I push back on trying to shoehorn people into using the word genocide, because I think it's imprecise. I think it distracts a lot from the actual issues. I think we can describe the issues and say that those are a problem, those are atrocious, we need to address those issues. And I think that communicates far better to people.
Zonia, wouldn't you say people trying to stop another group from existing would be considered a form of a genocide, right? You don't want to use the because some words I get it. I get it.
I consider that as a genocide.
Wait.
I consider that.
Yeah, because I can understand the word genocide in
Oh
itself.
my gosh, Twisted Aviator, thank you for gifting a tier 1 sub.
But if there are other words that mean genocide but are different, right? Like elimination or extermination, right? You don't think non-existence is a form of
No, it's not that. Listen, brother, it's never that. I think back in the time when abortion first happened, I think the person who made abortion, she was talking about genocide, but she used the term regulate bloodline. She said, "I would regulate the black bloodline."
Yeah, talking about Margaret Sanger.
See, that's what I'm saying. But what I consider genocide, like how Germany did to my brothers, the Jews. I consider that's a genocide what Germany was doing to the Jews. That's what I consider genocide.
I do remember. Could you say back when they were doing experiments on black people like Tuskegee and everything,
and syphilis and all that.
Yeah. When they were doing sterilization, literally
that's genocide.
Could you say that is a form of genocide?
Yeah,
it is.
I could say that's a form because look, when they doing the experiment about blacks in Turkey and giving them syphilis, and it's conspiracy theories that they said the government gave black people AIDS and all that. It's a lot of conspiracy theories.
To be
out
technically correct, they never gave anybody syphilis.
Yeah, no.
They just didn't tell them that they had syphilis and then gave them like placebo treatments and just let.
No. I think they treat one disease. What I've learned, I'm not sure it's true or not. What I've learned, they treat it like a common cold and they experimenting on black people first, and that's how syphilis came. Like they was trying to come up like how treat like a regular ass cold besides giving Tylenol. They started injecting with mad different stuff, and they said, "Oh shit, it's not working. We can't use shit on whole population." Cause even my
I will not stand for this medical misinformation. All right, I follow Twitch TOS.
All right, so
no. Misinformation and no. This is what I was hinting.
What I was hinting at, right, is that like I get people don't like to use the word like genocide because like I guess that term kind of scares people and people's like ideas like for genocide is like probably the Holocaust, right? But like there are other forms. It's like what I think like 7 steps, right, to it, like 10 steps to like a genocide, right?
No. With Russia, I'm sorry, I might not agree, but what Russia doing to Ukraine, that's kind of genocide. Cause they think
I would agree.
They think Russia's Ukraine. That's genocide.
I would agree.
Right there.
I mean, also there's the history of genocide prior to that, right?
It's not genocide.
Yeah.
So
it's not genocide. It's just
genocide.
Well, the history of genocide prior to that.
It's an invasion, and the goal is to take
There's some
over.
genocidal shit going on in Ukraine, man. I don't know.
There's definitely some genocidal shit going on. But I would say
Ukraine's going through a genocide. That's what I think. I think that's genocide.
But
it's just the degree to which they're engaging in total warfare, right? Like I wouldn't.
But America,
I think expressly want to kill all the Ukrainians.
There's all those stories about how they're taking Ukrainian children and like adopting them out to Russian families.
But that's fucking Ukrainian. I'm cool with the trans community. I'm cool with this and that, but I don't think listen, black people is warriors. I'm not talking about the warrior genes like what the fucking bitch ass black people is warriors.
Why would you bring that up of all people here?
No, listen, hold on. We're not going to
go starting to kick in
America.
Stardust is about to get nuked.
Oh boy.
Shit. No. This is not a nuke. But black people, America's not going to let nobody get genocide. We're going to step up for any smaller group. Black people led this junk through the civil rights. So black people not going to watch other people get genocide. I don't care conservative. Like I see a lot of conservatives in America. They're like, oh yeah, the libs come, bro. Black people, it gonna stop at black people. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to say go this and that, but
he's right that the Hispanics
nothing happen too crazy, bro. Like even Zonia was talking to me. I was like, oh Zonia, that's how you feel. I didn't know that. I didn't know about I think like a month ago. I didn't know what he was. I found that out a freaking month ago. I'm learning and I'm gonna learn. And I would told Zonia, I would say, I thought genocide was like you killing bloodlines, you killing, or you even trying to teach them. And that's what happened to Black Americans. Black Americans got genocide. I'm not talking about Jamaicans.
There we go.
I think Black Americans have been very successful in avoiding
Look
this.
at Black Americans. We don't know where we came from. We got eradicated. I don't know what God to pray to.
Let us jump down.
Genocide.
Okay. Let's get who wants to go in first.
All right, so that's the question that I wanted to bring up, right? Do you think the transatlantic slave trade was kind of a genocide because there was whole tribes, cultures, religions like wiped out, moved, right? Do you think that's kind of like, if not genocide, genocidal?
Can I address this just so we can actually like move it? So genocide very clearly has a spectrum all the way from like cultural to actual just like homicide. So on the cultural side of it, you can talk about like destroying a culture, you can talk about destroying a language, a religion, and all that kind of stuff. All of that is super obvious if you look at Native Americans or black folk from West Africa that were imported into the United States of America. Hold up, I get it, but I want to say it too. So basically, a lot of that stuff could fall under the cultural genocide. But then there's also stuff that happened in the slave trade that was physical genocide. So for instance, like in the sugar plantations in like Cuba and the Caribbean, that work was so hard that they basically knew that the people that they sent to those plantations they were going to kill, and they just didn't care as long as they got a few months of labor out of them. So that was pretty much like a death camp. Hold on,
that's what I said.
I'm not done yet. I'm gonna let you finish your point. I have something. Like that. Yeah.
All right.
Now, last thing.
So hold up. I'm not done yet, man. Hold on. Oh. And then basically I was saying that the obvious extreme version of that is the Holocaust, where you're literally taking an entire people, you're trying to butcher them and eradicate them from the face of the planet. So I think as long as you fall on the spectrum between culture and between the physical, you can use that umbrella term. But I think that if you want to have a precise conversation, you got to say, is this a cultural genocide? Is this somewhere in between? Or is this like an ethnocide where you're trying to wipe out a kind of people from the face of the planet?
Yeah, no. Yeah. That's all I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like with genocide, when they regulate your bloodline and when they make you forget who you is, if they can't kill them all, like decease them all, like that's genocide. Like that's what I think.
On
like,
the spectrum.
Yeah. That's what I think. I think the closest, besides my brother Jews and what happened in Germany, I think Black Americans went through genocide. I think that's what it. Like I don't know where I came from. I don't know what part, because I like back again. Like when I was listening to these panels, I don't know where I came from. I don't know who I am. I don't know what God to pray to besides the Christian Bible, because they told me to read that. Right, like that's genocide. They regulate your bloodline. They regulate your culture. I don't know what part of Africa I came from. The only thing I know, bro, protect this and this and that. Like I don't know nothing. The only thing I know, my skin color is black. I don't know what part of Africa I came from. That's genocide. Like I don't know. Like if somebody say, "Yo, what part of Africa you came from?"
Yo, bro, you gotta let people respond to you. like let them respond to you.
All right, so that's one of the things I like, not being able to tell where certain members of the group came from. But I was gonna bring up something like maybe like when you see like the Haitian Revolution, right? People consider that a genocide. A country like literally.
But they built their own culture, brother.
You matter. The Haitian Revolution. No, stop.
But they built their own culture, brother. They're not Black American. Haitians do not. Yo, I'm friends with Haitians, especially in the halfway out. Haitians do not agree with Black American culture. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Black American culture is different between Haitian, Jamaica, and Africa. That's what I'm saying. Like the global world. Listen, the global world to see us black or you black or this and that. That's how. That's how it seems. Like I had a best friend was Indian, but everybody thought he was Pakistani and Muslim, but he wasn't. so that's what I'm saying. Like
Stardust really flexing his skills from Chaos Cast.
Huh? Sorry,
you just letting it go. Like you bringing my boy in here. To
okay, look,
I just fucking night.
No, I just respect.
What are you saying, Beckett? Why are you fucking muted? What are you saying?
Because I said I was saying I shouldn't have interrupted you because like I was pointing out something that doesn't fucking matter. It's the Haitian Revolution wasn't a genocide. The Haitian massacre after the revolution was a genocide.
Let's let Black Yamato respond. Let's let Black Yamato respond. Actually,
yeah. Okay.
So I was gonna say that some people see this the Haitian Revolution as a genocide. There are books that paint it as a genocide, and I don't think they're completely all accurate. What would you say to like somebody like me, or to the people who think it's a genocide? Right, I'm pretty sure you guys are all like well versed about like this question.
Are you Haitian, brother? I don't know where you from. Where you from, brother?
Did you vote for Biden?
No, I'm talking about like where you from? You from Haitian?
Yes, I have family members that are Haitian.
No, but where you from?
From America. I'm from America.
But you got family that's from Haiti?
Yes.
Oh, so you know your history. Black Americans don't. That's what I'm saying.
Black Americans were imported to Haiti in the first place. They weren't fucking originally from there. They were slaves as well, taken from West Africa.
You said black.
They just
what?
speak French instead of speaking English. That's the only fucking
No,
difference between
no,
American
no.
Americans and fucking Haitian Americans.
No, that's not what happened. What happened was the slave trade around the whole Western
okay, so all right, okay. So I'll give you a little bit of my history, and like I have.
No, I'm just trying to say Haitians,
my
Jamaicans.
father's side is fucking Haiti, is fucking Haitian American, and my mom's side is like literally South Carolina. I'm like fucking Black American. Okay. I have a both. I am like literally, I guess, a mix between two different type of black. Okay,
Then you not Black American then?
What the fuck?
Oh man!
No, I'm tired of UK. No disrespect. I'm not disrespect because
if I was born,
see, no, people be listening to y'all go on panels and y'all
Look,
be saying this.
you
then
guys
y'all
should
also-
both do 23andMe. Compare results.
God.
All right, that's
We
the
will.
only thing
I
you can
cannot
do
believe
at this
this.
point.
I cannot believe this. I'm not Black American because my mom, my dad's side is fucking Haitian and my mom's side is American Black. That doesn't. You're not making any fucking sense.
You French.
Stop rambling, please.
You French. Keep it as that. You French. You're not a Black American.
So he has a Black American in his he's got Black American in his.
So now we're Black American.
Wait, hold on. Wolf.
This nigga is like literally fucking.
Okay.
You matter. Just so
alright.
we're clear, if you're French, we can't be friends anymore.
All right,
Just
Econoboi.
okay?
Econoboi.
Oh, that's a really good point.
All right. The speaking stick.
The
speaking stick goes to Econoboi now. Okay.
I just don't get it.
Wait, I want to hear this
could
get resolved.
Wait.
No, hold on. I'm asking the question, Black Yamato. Just give me a second here. Okay, I just don't understand, Wolf. How could Black Yamato be more French than American? That doesn't make any sense with the logic that you've outlined here.
Talking about the United States.
Yeah, America's where he was born and raised.
That's what I'm saying. It makes much more sense that Black Yamato is Black American than French. But it looks like he's muted himself. Maybe his guards must have come in or something. The halfway house. I don't know.
The day.
Well, you're not under
I'm not
guard.
Black Yamato. Stop getting black people confused, bro.
What are you talking about? I said you referred to Black Yamato.
No, you said he was mute. You said I was mute because I'm in the halfway house, or you said he was...
said you're in a halfway house and you were on mute.
Yeah,
no. What I'm saying about the Haitians. What I'm saying about the Haitians.
Let's move past that.
Oh god.
No,
not black. We got it.
This has gotten a little wild. You know. I'll tell you what. Hang on. I'll tell you what is genocide. This fucking panel is genocide. This panel is genocide of my concentration.
Didn't know.
Yeah, but there are some Black
come
Americans. There's some Black Americans who do know, and there's some that don't. But that doesn't mean that those who do know aren't Black Americans.
I'm talking about African American from descendant of slaves, bro.
Yes, right. I understand.
My mother's side of the family is descended from slaves.
And what she did worship? What did she worship? Where she come
Kennedy.
from? Where did she that?
This is funny.
Okay, just quiet. That's what I'm saying. That's how it is. Most black people don't know where we came from. He didn't say nothing about his mom's side.
Hey, Rip Dolo.
Right? But he could say he's from
Rip
Hades,
Dolo.
right? That's what I'm saying.
Hey, Rip Dolo.
I'm
going to be honest. Rip Dolo. I'm going to be honest with you in a way that no one else here is. Okay. You do realize that you're being farmed for content from multiple streamers because your positions are so fucking absurd and your inability to communicate your ideas. What do you mean? What am I talking about? You're enjoying the shit show and not moderating because you understand that you're getting the clicks and views from this guy.
I'm moderate and moderate, bro.
Positions.
Well, to be fair,
now libertarians
Black has been gatekept. I am now out of the fence. I am now.
Hey, Yamato, you and me, neither of us are trans anymore. So hey, don't worry about it. I got gate kept out of being trans. You got gate kept out of being black. We'll start our own thing.
Yeah.
I mean, in my defense, I was just I've been I got lost on this like fucking topic ages ago. I'm just trying not to get cancelled out of it.
The person in the chat has it correct. She's playing games on the side and letting you guys have a conversation. Very true. I have
Oh,
Rimworld
stop trying to pull a
going.
Destiny. Jesus.
Oh, interesting. So you are
I don't
farming
even have
us
my
all for
game on
content.
stream. If I wanted
I
to pull
feel
a Destiny, I would
betrayed.
do that.
I feel betrayed. I'm revolting.
I'm playing.
Everybody, I think we should push back. I think we should actually demand that we get a portion of her proceeds from donos and bits and subs.
I'm not getting any tonight, so I mean.
Yeah, I needed the.
All right, everybody, you need to start donating and subbing to Stardust now. Give bits.
Okay.
If you got a little bit to spare, please do it. She brings you this kind of absurdity pretty frequently. She takes a big chance putting us all together on these panels because one of us could easily just end up saying something really stupid and get her taken off the air. Plus, there's a whole bunch of people trying to wait for her to slip up just so that they can mass report her and get her off there. So give her what you can. Give her for what she does.
Zonia.
Let's get a hype train.
Sorry, Zonia.
The
I want to be really clear.
The libertarian dude. Let me answer you this. What I said was crazy.
Wait,
that Haitian Americans aren't black. That's fucking crazy.
Right?
Yeah.
Black
I said they're not descendants of Africa. They won already. I said they're not descendants.
The Haitian. Okay, hold on. I'm literally going to explain this to you. So Haiti was a Caribbean island that was populated by Native Americans. What happened was the Europeans, namely the English and the French, colonized the Americas and basically killed the fuck out of all the Native Americans. At the time, there were like major cash crops throughout the entire Americas: tobacco, cotton, and sugar. Sugar was a huge commodity in the Caribbean because that's one of the few places that you can grow it. So what happened was the Spanish and the French took the Caribbean, they killed the fuck out of the Native Americans, and they imported black slaves the same way that English Americans in the United States of America imported slaves. There's black people in Brazil. There's black people, some, in like Argentina, Chile, Colombia, all these fucking places, and they're the descendants of African slaves, the same way that you're the descendants of African slaves. Haitians, because they're on this island. I'm not done yet. Let me finish.
Let's let him finish.
So basically, what people are getting upset by, or what people are annoyed by, is the only difference between your heritage and his heritage is that his parents were colonized, enslaved, and abused by French people, and your ancestors were colonized, abused, and enslaved by English people. So you can say that he's not an African American in the sense that he's from the United States, but he still belongs to the continent of the Americas, and he's still descended from Africa.
Yeah, no. I understand that. What I'm saying is that if I go to Hades, a black American. No, listen, Counter. If I go to Hades, if I go to Hades, I don't got nothing common with Hades, bro. Like,
but that has nothing to do with whether or not they're African or American.
That's what I was trying to tell you. I'm talking about culture, not skin. Like, it's no disrespect to Hades.
You speak English.
No,
you're Christian.
They speak French.
Yeah, they're Christian and they speak French.
And I don't understand them when I go to Hades.
Okay, there's no difference between y'all except for language.
Oh my God, this is fucking amazing. I love this dude. Where did y'all find this nigga? I gotta know.
He's a longtime stargazer, man. Longtime stargazer.
I can see. He doesn't really pop up much, does he?
Yeah. So can you tell me what do Haitians got in common with Black Americans?
What?
Counter literally just said all of that.
I said, yeah, but I'm talking about common culture. Like if I go to Haiti, they worshiping different gods. They worshiping they slain the French prince.
Bro, Black Yamato's mom is from South Carolina. Black Yamato, you were born in America.
But
what are you talking about?
But he don't know what part of that side he's from. That's what I'm saying about Black Americans. Haitians know. That's why I'm saying.
This is so stupid, right? Like how many generations do you have to be here before you get to be called a real Black American?
It's not that. It's culture too.
So I'm guessing what you're talking about is you're talking about
they grew up in America,
being severed from your origins, being severed from your ancestry is a major component of being a Black American. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to say I don't know who.
Well, then I'm a Black American.
So, would you agree that Yamato probably faces a lot of the same kinds of prejudices, profiling, etc., that can happen to other Black Americans?
What you mean?
So, does he face the same discrimination?
Yeah.
No.
Really?
Once.
Hey, Yamato, you got that white privilege rubbing off on you?
No.
I don't know.
No.
Can I just interject slightly? Because I mean, like, I hear these kind of conversations a lot, and you hear it on like the far right as well. Like, talk about the European white experience and how that's really important and shit. Like, what? Because I was talking with Lona Box, with a British nationalist who was like, well, we need to protect Britishness. We need to protect the Saxons. To which the like honest response is, well, what Saxons? Like, and this is part of the problem that we keep having with these sort of conversations when they get like thrown out. It's really weird to hear, but like the way Americans hear them, because like it's like there are basically no Celts left. There are basically no Saxons left. You can predominantly trace your ancestry to like they got fucking.
Your
wiped
religion
out.
is destroyed. You're not really British. All right, you're not.
I mean, the
worshiping
thing is, you can trace like a lot of people can trace back to things like Norman heritage, for example. Like actually, like normal heritage will usually have a class element, to be honest.
Good save.
Whereas,
good save,
like,
by the way, Beckett, good save.
What?
Good save on the changing the topic.
Shut up, Leonardo. Like, no, but like, it's a genuine question. Like, I don't see why it fucking matters. Like, most people would refer to me as English, for example, but my heritage is overwhelmingly Irish. But if I go to like somebody else in the UK and I'm like, well, I'm Irish, they'll be like, you don't sound Irish. How many generations did your family go back?
That's what I was saying.
But my point is, at the point that we're doing that, like, aren't you all just fucking American?
He just said he did. I don't.
It kind of depends. Like,
that's what I'm saying. No, Hades is not American.
No, I wouldn't say that in this case. No, I would say that's not
what I'm
true.
saying. Y'all make me look like the bad guy.
America is a nation.
You're definitely not a bad guy. You're just stupid.
America is a nation, right? So he's born and raised in America. And I think, like, on one side of your family, you're more than one generation American, right? So,
bye, Econoboi. Sorry, Econoboi left.
So,
thank you, Econoboi.
And the other side, it's more recent. You're, on your mother's side, I guess it's your first generation American.
I would say my father's side. Yep, my father's side, first generation.
Yeah.
My mom's
yeah.
family's been here like most of all their life. They grew up here in Maryland, but they're from like South Carolina. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so an American is a nationality. It doesn't now inside that nationality it has many other cultures with it, but you can't say that he's not a Black American. But I do actually want to push back a little bit on Beckett here, because you said this before on a previous panel that you and I are together on. I didn't really get a chance to address it because we were ending the panel at the time. But you're talking about how you're tired of hearing about like Irish Americans or Americans call themselves Irish. It actually really does matter, though. There's a really important element to it for those of us, especially who came here in the 1800s, particularly the mid to late 1800s, because there was actually multiple generations of oppression that we had to deal with, where we weren't even allowed to get jobs in most places, weren't able to go into most places of business, and were largely seen as being disgusting, and the kind of names they had for us were pretty fucked up, and it affected our families for generations on end. So fortunately, after World War II, we ended up getting kind of included in the majority and being sort of represented and seen as being part of the majority group. But I grew up with my grandmother telling me about the stories of the kind of treatment that she had to deal with, and that even as a kid people would spit on her and stuff. So it's really that those kinds of things do actually matter to a certain group of people depending on like the generation and where they come from. Like somebody who just came here from Ireland may not even have they wouldn't have any relation to that.
That's
right?
what I was saying. Zonia is
American
right. You could continue. You is right. Zonia, you is right. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to
that's
say
what's a little bit different. But Yamato actually has that on another side of his family. The other side of his family, his mother's
I asked him the question where his side family came from. He didn't answer it. And I'm trying to say that's how black people.
But he faced the same oppressions.
You fucking idiot! I've literally said fucking. My mom is from South Carolina. If you wasn't listening, that's on you. That's a you issue. You not being able to hear is a fucking skill issue. Get good, kid.
Yeah, so on his mother's side, he has the same oppressions.
Africa, your mom's side came from. That's what I'm trying to say.
What side of Africa your mom's fucking came from? You tell
me.
Bro,
I'm trying to tell you, Haitians know where they came from. Jamaicans know where they came from.
Bro, we came
West
from Africa.
Indians know where they came from. Black Americans don't know where they came from.
So
I'm not trying to say you not black. I'm just saying Black Americans don't know where they came from.
Ripdolo, this is fun, but 96% of the transatlantic slave trade didn't occur in America. The transatlantic, only 4% happened in America, right?
So where did Black Americans come from?
Listen, the reason that only 4% of the transatlantic slave trade went into America, and America became the largest chattel slavery empire to ever exist, is because in most other places, the slaves were worked to death.
In Why everybody got to know they national? You're not answering my question. Why everybody know they national?
Question's been asked. You haven't engaged. You just haven't engaged, dude. You're like terrible at this.
I'm just asking the question.
Chattel slavery in America was unique in the way that families were bred, in the way that the transatlantic slave trade intentionally targeted women for the purposes of breeding, in the way that places like, as the tobacco industry failed, places like, because of the ratification of the Constitution and the illegality of the transatlantic slave trade, the way that people were sold down the river, that's where that term comes from, is being sold to places for cotton plantations and things like that after they were no longer needed.
I see plantation first time 2019 in Georgia.
Yeah, well,
so there is a unique element to slavery in America, sure. But what you're talking about is this idea that Black Yamato is somehow not American, despite multiple generations of Americans on their mother's side, and then
I did not say
growing up as a Black person in America. It's a very weird hill to die on.
Literally all my life.
Okay, I probably misspoke. I'm saying I didn't say he wasn't a Black American. I said
you did. You literally
no.
That.
Listen, brother. Listen. I say you Haitian. I say you know. I listen for 10 seconds. All I was saying that you know your background. You know that you Haitian. You know
they have no additional information from Americans.
I'm asking you. Do you know yours? Do you know what?
No, that's why I was trying to say the whole time. No. I don't know if I'm Haitian, Jamaican. I don't know if I came from Ethiopia. That's what
Black people do not come from fucking Haiti. Okay?
No, but I'm not sure.
They don't know where they're from, where their ancestry is from, any more than Black Americans.
But Haitians came after the slaves in America, though. They fought a revolution. That's what I'm saying.
I just want to point out real.
Steelman, go ahead.
Okay, no, this is actually interesting, and I'm sorry for not understanding it earlier. I was just getting fucking triggered. So, if I understand what you're saying, is that there was a revolution in Haiti, and the Haitian people actually have a independent system of government that they've had for roughly like 150 years or whatever. As a result, they have an independent national identity from being a Black slave because they technically had their own country.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Yeah. I wasn't trying to
diminish. All right. Yeah, so I guess let me just tell you where I got tripped up. So where I got tripped up,
enough, and you can create a position for him.
Yeah, so where I got tripped up was basically, I think the reason why I would be triggered if I was fucking Haitian or a history nerd, which I am, is because basically, like, that's still a similar experience. And what I mean by that is they're taking. Hold up. Let me finish, man.
Yeah, let's let him finish.
I'm just saying they're West Africans who were enslaved by West African kingdoms, sold to white folk, brought across the ocean to do work that they didn't want to do. Treated as hold up. I'm not done yet, bro. Just let me finish. They were treated as animals for a really long time, up until the revolution. They had the revolution. They're still in a second-class citizen tier when you're talking about the globe. Maybe they have an independent country, but they're still treated like shit. And as a result, a Haitian American, while not being the same as a Black American or an African American, if you want to get like split hairs, they would still have a similar parallel structure. So I think that's why people got sensitive.
Well, you just said that. You just said that. I didn't know I was from West African. So Black Americans is from West Africa. I didn't.
100%.
Yeah, that's the whole point you tried to create
for
him.
Person that like you
actually, I
like I did not know that, bro.
Okay.
Like, I'm not joking. I didn't know I was from West Africa. Now I gotta look it up. That's what I'm saying, bro.
And I would say part of this is intentional, part of this is unintentional, where a lot of American history is like Euro history focused. And what I just mean by that is we basically follow Egypt into Greece, Greece into Rome, Rome into Europe, Europe into the colonies, colonies into America. So we never learn anything about West Africa.
Find out where I came from. You just said like I'm gonna look at it, but I'm gonna be dead how you just explained everything.
Yeah, you were never taught it. I got it,
bro. I did not know you just said Black Americans came from West Africa. That's a leeway. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
The only thing I knew growing up, they just say you was Black and African. I didn't know I came from West Africa.
And if I could give you just something like some Wikipedia terms to Google or whatever. So like Africa is really broken up into like a few major parts when you're talking about language groups, which I think is the easiest to understand. So basically like North Africa is going to be all the desert places. Those are going to be people who look like fucking Abba from Abba and Preach. Then you got
I don't know who that is.
You should Google him too.
Oh, you talking about Ethiopian?
Yeah.
So that's technically East Africa, but yeah, they're still on the north side. Then basically West Africa is going to be people who are like darker skinned, typically from West Africa, and that's going to be like countries like Benin or Mali,
like near the equator, right?
I mean, they're all pretty fucking close to it, which is why they have more melanin and shit. But
see, that's what
basically,
I didn't know.
I still want to tell you two more things. So there's also like in South Africa, there was a group called the Khoisan, which were basically people who like lived out of the grasslands in South Africa. And the Bantu, it's like the language group that most West Africans associate with. They actually immigrated into South Africa and pushed the Khoisan out to the point that they're no longer like a majority group. So what I'm saying is like, it's harder because there's not as much written history about Africa, but there's still a lot of trends and a lot of interesting things that you can learn.
My brother, Black, what's your name? Black X?
Black Yamato. Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to disrespect Black Yamato. Like, I did not know my ancestors came from West Africa. Like, I'm not even conceited. Like, that's what I'm saying.
There's like an 80% chance he came from Benin.
The only thing I grew up in America, they was like, "Oh, your ancestors are slave." Martin Luther King said civil rights. That was it.
That's pretty much it.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's why you see a lot of black people crazy. Well, that's what I'm saying. Then I'm trying to say about Jamaica. Jamaica built their culture when they fought against the colonizers. Black Americans didn't. And we got stripped. That's what I'm trying to say. It wasn't me trying to diss Haitians, Jamaicans, and this and that.
Yeah, you're just saying you're different.
Their culture. Black Americans built their culture besides gangs and drugs. But like, I did not know I came from West Africa, and that's interesting. And I'm gonna look up West African history, and I thank you for telling me. I didn't know I came from West Africa. Like when I was taught in school.
All right, so because we redheads are starting to slowly take over the panel, and because there's also a little bit of an imbalance, a skew toward Irish as well, I think I'm going to drop off and
I
let
can
you
leave.
guys. No. I've had plenty of time on here, so you take over. You take my place. So
Zonia is literally escaping. She's literally escaping.
And when I come from the halfway, I was gonna be in chat. I was gonna put like a highway in chat. You gonna know it's me or some shit.
Anyways, it was fun being on the panel. So
yeah, it was fun having you. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, you have a good night.
Yeah,
Take care. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah.
Bye.
Hey, so I gotta get counterpoints. I got 5 counterpoints. Where you stream at?
I mean, right now I'm 99% just doing Warhammer 40k content, but you can type in Counterpoints, just the way that it's spelled, counter, and then you'll find me, and I still do my political streams on my main channel.
Yeah, bro, I'm trying. Yeah, y'all might think it's a joke. That's what I'm trying to say. Black people know where it came from. I did not know I came from West Africa. That's a whole different thing. I did not know that. And I could see to that. I didn't know.
No, bro, the only reason why I know this shit is because I actively fucking searched it out. That's the only reason why I know any of this shit.
No, but when I searched it, it was like, oh, Martin Luther King freed the slaves, and
yeah, they don't teach anybody shit. Abraham
You
Lincoln.
said what?
I think you just misspoke. Martin Luther King was for the Civil Rights Act. Abraham Lincoln was the guy who fucking fought the Civil War.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But yeah. I'm saying that's what I was taught. I wasn't taught that black people came from West Africa. I didn't know that.
I know. Isn't it crazy the public schools still teach people that Abraham Lincoln was a good president?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They told me he
was a fucking monster. One of the worst presidents in American history.
I never
best
knew
fucking monster that ever existed.
That's all I'm saying.
He's a fucking horrible human being. Worst president in American history, for sure.
Love Abraham Lincoln. One of my favorites.
Like, I don't pay
Okay, how about this?
But...
We have Counterpoints and Fabian talk about Abraham Lincoln and why he was good or bad.
Nah, I already. So I'll tell you the reason why.
I feel like we've had this one before.
Yeah. I heard that he was a vampire hunter and he had a black friend.
Indeed, that's the deep lore.
Jesus Christ.
No, okay, so I would say the reason why I think Abraham Lincoln would be good is the reason why Fabian Liberty would think he would be bad. So basically, like, free association, whether or not people can do XYZ. I'm sure you have some moral objections to slavery, blah blah blah. But for me, like, power is what determines the social structure. So if you have to do terrible things in order to enforce a positive social structure, it is what it is. Suspending habeas corpus is fucked up, but that's why the dude got shot in the back of the head. So it is what it is. He paid his price, but ultimately he probably saved the Union, saved millions of people from slavery, and yeah, so I think it was worth it in the end.
I would say killing who knows, maybe 500,000, maybe 1 million, maybe 200,000 black slaves in the contraband camps, or arresting journalists and selling tickets to have them be abused, or intentionally letting Union soldiers starve and die from diseases because he thought that it would hurt the supply lines of the South in as prisoners of war. I think there's just like a laundry list of reasons why the genocidal war criminal that was Abraham Lincoln is a bad president.
Can you say that one more time? You're saying that he let the South
Union soldiers starve.
Yeah, so there were prisoners in the South. Yes, so in the South, right? There was, I can't remember the exact name. I have to
not the Confederate soldiers, the Union soldiers.
No, Union soldiers that were prisoners of war. The Confederacy tried to make a trade, and he said, "Go fuck yourself," basically, right? Like paraphrasing, obviously, he didn't say that.
Sure, of course.
And then they said, "Look, we can't feed them and house them because our supply lines are so fucked. They're dying and starving and dying from disease." And then Abraham Lincoln wanted that to continue because that would stress the resources of the South. So he let Union soldiers die from disease.
Is it truly that simple? I mean, like, is it as simple as you're making it sound?
Of course, it's not that simple.
Yeah.
I mean, history's never that simple, but the
exactly.
onus
I don't know.
for
I don't
not
know. Do you make
freely
it sound very
accepting
simple, Scott?
the onus,
like you sure?
like
just own
they
it.
were
Just
willing
own it.
to
Make it
give.
simple.
They were willing to give
be right
Union
back.
soldiers back to the Union
In exchange
no
for
trade, in exchange for nothing. They would simply say, "Just take them. We don't want to feed them anymore. We can't feed them." and then he refused just taking them so that they could continuously stress the supplies of the South. He also put tons of black people in contraband camps and made them work instead of freeing them into the North. And this continued until 1867, where we don't know the numbers, but it's, you know, some estimates are very liberal at 1 million. Some are more conservative at like 400,000 of free black individuals that were then basically put into, I don't know what you would call it, you know, other than contraband camps. You'd call it like a concentration camp.
Genocide.
I didn't know what to do with them.
Yo, that's what I said about this libertarian dude right here. Like, y'all
it was fucking evil.
Damn eggshells and this and that, but y'all quick step up for the Second Amendment. But when it comes to social issues and racial issues, yeah, y'all be walking a little back. Bro, this is meant racist with libertarians. I'm not sure how hard it is to say racism is real. Like, come on. Like,
dude, you're
nobody has
positions to him that he's never said. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have any difficulty saying that Abraham Lincoln was racist. Abraham Lincoln specifically said that that if he could like maintain the Union without freeing a single black slave, he would.
Yeah.
Abraham Lincoln didn't give a fuck about black people. He gave a fuck about the expansion of slave states because it would hurt free white labor. It was a vile racist. But I mean, he also had a pseudo friendship with Frederick Douglass, so it's like that's kind of questionable too. Is it like he was a vile racist himself, or was it like he's like working within party politics?
I was looking at Abraham Lincoln picture, yo. He looked black as hell. Like you look.
Abraham Lincoln was likely from the same ethnic category that I am from, which is Melungeon, which is a mixture of Irish immigrants, free black slaves, and people that escaped. And,
that's what he didn't look like
into the mountains.
Washington. Yeah,
he was Melungeon, which means he was probably mixed race.
Oh, so he's like the first mixed race besides Obama.
Besides Bill Clinton.
Yeah, you might be right.
Yeah, but I mean, he probably has some black in him. Same thing with me. Like I'm part black on my mother's side from being Melungeon, and
yeah, but did
my dad's side,
Abraham Lincoln was the first black president? He said that.
In a manner of speaking, yeah. In a manner of speaking, yeah, sure. It depends on what you mean by black. Like if a certain percentage of black is enough to say that you're black, then
no. When we say black, it don't mean skin color. We just say we accept any low race. That's what I'm trying to tell.
That's literally what I said.
Yeah. That's what I'm trying to tell Zion. If anything was happen to the LGBTQ community, black folks would stand up. We wouldn't let that shit happen. You like people need to stop worrying about like everybody. I think everybody be fine, but I think it's like the politicians we vote for. But social levels, I think everybody agree. I think in America.
By the way, chat, give me some money. Subscribe, okay? Subscribe, super chat. This is how I make my income, so please consider it.
Held Union soldiers to starve and die from disease. Oh, and by the way, he didn't do a goddamn thing to stop Sherman's march to the sea. Like these things, if anybody did this in any other context other than the supposed war to free the slaves, which wasn't the onus for the war, and it's just bullshit taught through history.
Man,
that we would call them insanely genocidal war criminals.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, brother. But I'm getting sick of saying war crimes because every war video I watch in the halfway hour is war crimes from everybody. The government, the free rebels, Russians. Everybody commit war crimes in war. You under panic. You think you threaten. You don't think you're going to do something crazy. But
as fucking crazy as you are, that's actually a good point.
You don't think you're gonna
fucking, I mean, like, right, like Smedley Butler or whatever. Like,
yeah, no. That's why I'm saying I don't get the war crimes.
Smedley Butler's a bad motherfucker.
Like, if you're in war, you're in war. You sign up, you know it's gonna happen. Just like how the game bait. That's why when I preach to people, I say just like game bait, you know it's gonna happen. It's the same thing.
It's mostly like 18-year-old poor kids. Let's be honest.
I think they debunk that.
I don't know. I don't know that that most of the people joining the military really understand, and I don't think I even understand as someone that didn't go to war.
Black boys.
No, I think they.
I gave vaccines in the army.
I think they just said that like most enlistees are like close to middle class or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to say, like, I be seeing about war crimes. It's no war crimes in the war unless you really, really video that you looking at a person and bombing a civilian that's not in the war. But most of the war crimes that be posted on is other peoples of the war got captured and they got crucified. They not doing that. They not showing that like a random civilian. It might be like a badass Arsenal hit the building. Yeah, that's bad. But I'm talking about the war crimes like what I be seeing and this and that. If they doing it against other people's of war. Like they need to change that too though. When war, anything happens. That's what's war. Anything happens.
All right, war sucks, and my mental energy is pretty much gone. So y'all have a good one.
Hey, have a good one, Fabian.
Right.
I think I'm probably gonna.
Counterpoints.
I'm gonna.
Yeah, take care, man. We'll catch up.
Thanks for having me on Stardust.
Yeah. Thanks for joining, guys. I'm probably gonna shut down this panel shortly. So. Just because I'm getting tired, and I also have to get.
Lady Rameth hasn't said anything yet.
That's true, Lady Rameth. You want to say something?
That's okay. I honestly thought when I joined, because I had asked like a while back to join, I thought we were still on the transgender stuff. So when I came in, I just I was about to type that into chat.
Well,
and,
do you
like,
want to talk? We can
like,
briefly go on that topic if you want. On the
No, it's okay. I mean, we don't have to backtrack.
No,
I just
we do it because I want you to feel bad. Can you say how you feel?
Yeah.
Come on.
I mean, I believe that it's a real issue. I'm not sure.
Is it a genocide though?
Yeah.
Honestly,
no,
everything.
This what I'm saying.
Words are changing. No, words are changing so much now.
That's what
So
I'm
it's
trying
like,
to tell you. I didn't know who she.
Yeah,
I
let
didn't
her
know who
fucking
she
go, bro.
was.
She's been.
Yeah, let's let her go. Let's let her go.
No, words are changing so much now, and it's hard to say that what's a genocide anymore. I mean, definition wise, no, I wouldn't say that it is. But I guess socially, it is.
So yeah, so that was kind of the thing that we were getting into. Hold up, real quick. So that was the thing that we were kind of getting into, is that there's like a spectrum of different kinds of genocide. There's like cultural genocide, where you try to erase somebody's language or their culture or their religious beliefs or whatever, and then there's like an ethnocide, where you're literally trying to physically destroy people by, you know, rounding them up into camps and shooting them in the back of the head. So I think the reason why there's a lot of frustration and contention around this subject is a lot of people are referring to the latter, where literally like I think that cis people, straight people, conservatives, libertarians or whatever, they're like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Nobody's about to round up trans people and shoot them in the back of the head. But there are like individual murders, and then also the question is whether or not there's an intention from the Republicans to eliminate the ability of minors to explore transgenderism at all. And then as a result, through suicide, poor care, all that kind of stuff, if they're trying to eliminate transgender culture, which I guess you could argue would be a form of cultural genocide. And then if you were conservative, they would not admit that, but then they would also say it was a good thing while not admitting that that's what they were trying to do.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Based.
Beckett.
There, we did it. We did the trans subject.
We did.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
We didn't hear what you guys say. We didn't hear you. Can you speak? Because you don't want to disagree. See, that's how genocide start too. When you say, okay, I agree. Can we hear like how you feel?
How I feel?
No, not you. I'm talking about the person. Can you,
Lady Ramon?
How you feel that? Because you say you feel like it was genocide. Can you what's her name?
Ginger. You can just call me Ginger.
Can you feel how you feel because your counterpoints did get me too. Because I didn't know like my ancestor came from West Africa. I didn't know that. That was a new thing. I give him that point. That's why I said counterpoints. I give you that 1 point. Like I wasn't taught, but I want to hear from you, Ginger. Like, how do you feel? Like, Phil, are you trans?
No, she's not trans. Yeah.
Oh, I thought she said she can't. She want to explain about the trans experience. That's what I thought.
No, I actually did explain how I felt about the issue before Counterpoint spoke. But I think you were kind of too busy agreeing with me to listen, which is fine. That's fine.
Yeah, your hair got me. My bad.
What?
Likes your hair.
Yeah.
Nah, her hair looking nice. That's what I said. I was like, oh snap. But,
oh, thank you.
I agree.
But no, I feel like it's a genocide in the kind of what he said. I feel like it's a genocide in this. Yeah, it's a social genocide in a sense, but I don't feel like it's a genocide in the sense of what happened with the Nazis, or even to the point of what happened in the internment camps. I would even feel like that's more of a genocide than what's happening now. But it's like I said, everything's changing. Words are changing, meanings are changing so much, and I can't exactly keep up with it.
I can't either. That's like I can't either. It's like, but I understand. Like everybody should just be free. That's my motto, man. I don't care what race, what gender, what. Everybody should just be free. I understand a lot of people mad, and I just want people to be free.
Oh, Black Yamato left though.
Yeah, he lagged out. I seen it. It was like a little circle. Then just
Well, okay, I'm going to call it a night because I should probably get ready for things. But I might do another one of these tomorrow. If you guys are interested in joining. So.
Yeah, I might.
Cool. Thank you for
I might be back. Can I come back, Star?
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Okay.
I
thought I got canceled.
Well, I'm gonna finish out and watch one of the things I had prepped. So, but thanks very much.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Nice to meet you, Counterpoints. And hey, Brent Box, by the way. Sorry, I got completely distracted by this panel.
Yeah,
I think part of my brain is fucking broken, quite frankly.
Yeah.
But that's good. That's good.
The most I like Counterpoints. I must start following them.
Underscore Counterpoints underscore on Twitter and also Counterpoints Common Spelling.
I really see. That's what I'm saying. I'm really Counterpoints. I'm really sure Counterpoints. Like I'm gonna be in his chat and stuff, and we gonna talk on your stream sometimes too. All right, brother.
Sounds great. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, I'm gonna follow you, bro.
Thanks, all. Have a lovely evening. Later.
See you guys.
Right.
It was fun. Damn, chat. What the fuck was that? Was something. That was a really interesting conversation. Wow.